And we are live. Can barely clap because we got the new mic. Back once again, NFL week 1, week 2. Yeah, man. Overall thoughts on week 1? Cam?
I was just excited for football to be back, honestly. I got absolutely destroyed gambling-wise. I ended up doing pretty well against the spread, but I didn't take every game. I think I texted you guys. It got really hot Sunday night and then Monday night. But overall, the bets that I was picking for to actually place didn't go the way I planned throughout the early afternoon games. But still awesome. First year with Sunday ticket too. So being able to switch back and forth between games in my own apartment was awesome.
How was that experience?
I broke a glass after the Patriots game, but after that, I kind of calmed down, watched the 4 o'clock, and then a little bit of the Sunday night game. But yeah, definitely worth the price. So can't recommend it more, especially after streaming Patriots games on my computer and being on tape delay and texting me the play-by-play and not knowing what's going on. Live,
there's one solution for that. Just don't go on your phone.
Sure.
Cam's lagging behind. All right.
Entertaining Jets game. Jets game was probably one of the more entertaining games of the. What did you do for the
Yeah,
game?
Michael, how was your week 1 experience?
I was not allowed to watch the Jets game until the second half because I was driving. And that would be illegal to do that while you're driving. But I had a good time watching the games. I watched the night games, and I didn't catch any of the 4 o'clock window, which happens. But yeah.
Well, you can listen to the game.
Classic Mikey.
You can listen to the game through audio now.
I was trying to get it, but no.
All right. All right. Speaking of week 1, let's go into the overall week 1 records. So we had Michael 7-9 to start us out. Myself also 7-9. Cam 10-6. Is Cam frozen on your screen and lagging?
Yeah, he is. He's really slow and weird
Oh,
looking.
Really? Let me.
Cam. All right. Maybe I'll see Cam in a second.
Hop back on the Wi-Fi.
Stop using cellular, dude. So yeah, Cam 10-6. I mean, me and Mikey 7-9. I would be a little concerned about that, but I even mentioned when I listened back to the pod that I was trying to take big swings. Some of them didn't work out, so congrats to Cam. He's the leader in the clubhouse once again. We'll be hopefully not be playing catch up the whole season, but it's a long year. But good start, 10-6. Definitely take that. 7-9. I think even for a good game, but that's a decent record. So, we're gonna try and get back to 500 this week, Michael. But overall, not the best week, but not the worst week from the boys. All right, starting it out, we had Thursday night football. Eagles, Cowboys. First week back, we all had the Cowboys. They did cover the spread. Weird game where it got delayed due to the thunder, and I wouldn't blame if any of you guys just went to sleep, but I stayed up and watched it. It was a decent game. I think it was kind of pretty much as expected. The Eagles maybe looked like a tiny bit worse than I would expected. Cowboys looked a little bit better than I would have expected. What were your thoughts on this one, Michael? At least watching the first half or so.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we kind of projected this one kind of to a T. Their offense, like the Eagles' offense, was ground and pound as they always are, and I figured that Dak would throw for a little bit more yardage than he did, but they had some brutal drops along the way and kind of just sloppy overall. But being a division game, week 1, kind of figured this one would be close.
Yeah, big drops. I thought the second to last drop by CD was pretty bad. The last one, it was catchable, yeah, but I don't.
The diving one was it would have been a sick catch, but
it would have. But there goes Cam. Big Javonte Williams game. I liked what I saw out of him. I have him in a couple fantasy leagues, not fantasy segment of the week, but I think they can put enough behind the offensive line to be a decent opponent. We'll add Cam back to the stage. Welcome back to the stage, sir.
Sorry about that. Am
No
I a
problem.
little bit better? Or
Yeah.
All right, cool.
I was just talking about how Javonte Williams was a good addition to the Cowboys, and he played well. If there's anything else you wanted to add on this game before we move on.
I mean, I thought kind of like Mikey said, we predicted it, but also I feel like we necessarily kind of got bailed out by the delay. So I feel like if you're one of those bettors that was hammering the over, you were sitting pretty. And then as soon as that delay hit, it was almost just an absolute standstill on both sides. No one could really move the ball. No, you guys were just talking about CD before I dropped. I agree with you, but a lot of those drops are drops for CD Lamb, and they're not drops for 90% of the receivers in this league. I mean, like, I think Mikey said that last one, like, that would have been, like, an insane catch, clutch time. Obviously, like, if you're CD Lamb, you expect to catch that ball. But, I mean, I was very surprised on how good the Cowboys looked. I know Dub said they looked better than we expected, but I was not expecting them to move the ball as much as they did on that Phillies defense. I'm not sure if that's a testament to the Cowboys offense or some of the losses that Philly had on defense, but obviously we monitor that throughout the rest of the year. But an entertaining Thursday night game.
All right. Anything else? Well, we had the spit. Dak, a little guilty there.
That was wild. I've never seen anything like that. Like, to start an NFL season, like, not even a snap has been played, and then Dak, like, kind of spits in front of Jalen, and Jalen just loogies right on Dak's jersey is kind of crazy. I was not expecting that going into the game, but definitely was chippy, entertaining.
Yeah, a lot of actually, I feel like there was a decent amount of fights, especially in the divisional games. All right, before we head to Friday night, we have our first comment in the chat from 4FTB. This person says Pats will decimate the Finns, lock in Pats money line. We'll get to that. We'll predict the games later on, but we'll keep that in mind as we go through the week one. Is that a Four Loco, American Four Loco?
Yeah, our sponsor.
Not sponsored. I don't know how many times that's said. Friday night, Chargers, Chiefs. Chargers get the dub. I think all of us, well, Mikey, you picked the Chiefs like begrudgingly, but me and Cam had the Chargers. I took Chargers money line as focus 5, placed it, won that bet. Someone on this podcast has been saying Justin Herbert's top 5, and that's me. And I believe
I don't remember you saying that a single time, but
you weren't. You might not have been there when it was
okay.
me, Mikey, and Rat were arguing over that. But
True.
Justin Herbert had like a perfect game, I think, and there were some dumb decisions by Omari and Hampton, and they still get over it. And the Chiefs, obviously, Xavier Worthy goes down early. Mahomes looked good. Like, I feel like from the second half on, like, they're kind of just trading blows, and it's going to be like kind of who had the ball last and kind of put out the best. But what were your guys' takeaways from this game, Cam? We can start with you if you want for this one.
I know I picked the Chargers spread. I hesitated on a money line. Actually, no, I took a money line, but I parlayed it with McConkey to score, which kind of – I mean, he had a good game. Obviously, just didn't find the paint. I was extremely surprised. Not so much with Herbert. Even though that was the best he's looked, I do have higher expectations for him. But he looked really good that game. But Quentin Johnston, I mean, basically, like, everybody was kind of writing him off. Was very surprised that he rejoined the Chargers and then has 2 touchdowns, kind of one of the main focal points of their offense in the first week of the season. So I'm interested to see if they continue using him as a relatively big play threat and a red zone threat. Based on his size, but like I said, another entertaining game in prime time. I mean, very different than what we were dealing with last year. So, so far, knock on wood. But yeah,
Michael, you get to catch any of this game?
Nope.
Okay. Well, I think with Quentin Johnston, like, I feel like teams are going to be locked on Lad McConkey and even Keenan Allen over him. So if you can actually play well, then that could be a good
Keenan Allen also had a hell of a game for the bag of bones that he is. But
well, he didn't do much, but he had like a couple of clutch catches.
Yeah.
Amari Hampton looked okay. He had that one dumb decision of running out of bounds, but usually that is like the nail in the coffin. The Chiefs will just beat you based off that. So maybe that's a sign that the Chiefs are looking a little bit down this year. We'll see moving forward about the Chiefs. We move ahead to Sunday, 1 p.m. NFC South. Bucks beat the Falcons. Probably game of the day, maybe second game of the day. Pretty close back and forth. A lot of us were hating on the Falcons preseason, saying they couldn't get it done. Granted, this was a home game. Michael, Well, you weren't able to watch the 1 o'clock slate, so we'll kick it back to Cam. What do you say for Bucks
Yeah, I watched
Falcons?
the end of this game.
All right, what were your thoughts on
Don't
this
count
game?
me out. I watched the last drive. Michael Penix cooking down the field, and then just missing that kick was brutal. Also, the missed extra point right before that, crazy. But the Bucks kind of got bailed out. I know we were talking about them being like sort of predicting them to be a little bit sluggish out of the gate, the Bucks, because of all their injuries, and then coming on later in the season. I think that's still the case. I mean, like they didn't really have much going on offense the whole game. Didn't really have anything in the run game, and then Baker did throw for 3 touchdowns, but it was not efficient. Didn't throw for a lot of yards, so I could see them coming out of this game, maybe losing a couple, and then getting back on the train once a lot of their guys come back. But yeah, it was an interesting end of the game for sure.
Emeka Ibuka,
Yeah, hell of a game out of him.
2
I thought-
touchdowns in the first start.
I thought this was a big game for the Bucks, honestly. As Mikey said, like maybe they don't start off hot, but if they can scrape together a few wins early on, I think Baker's really cementing himself as one of the better quarterbacks in this league. And I mean, even though Chris Godwin is out, I think Ibuka stepped in and filled that role perfectly. I was expecting a little more out of Evans. I wasn't able to watch the whole game because the Pats were on, but definitely later on, I watched every single play. I'm a little bit more higher on Penix than I was. I know I'm very anti-left-handed quarterback, but he did look good. I have to give it to him. He made some huge plays down the stretch, but kind of like Mikey said, I feel like the Bucks gave him an opportunity, and with that missed extra point, like they shouldn't have even been in that situation. Like you should have just buried them. 4-point lead. I can't see them coming down the field and scoring a touchdown to win the game. So kind of got bailed out, and then unfortunately, coup for the Falcons obviously chokes, but. Overall, like Zub said, one of the better games of especially the 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah, sometimes I think there's like a kickers alliance where they're just like, like last year they started off really good and then they were just like, we have to miss a bunch of kicks to make us come back down to earth. Yeah, so it was kind of just obvious, like Falcons fashion, that this would happen, but definitely definitely one of the best games of the 1 o'clock slate in the day. Another comment from the chat. Allie began. We hear. All right, we'll get that one in before the next 1 o'clock game. Bengals Browns. This one was chippy at points. Bengals win by 1 point. Very scary. I had the Bengals as one of the last legs on my Focus 5 parlays. I just needed them to win the game, and it got pretty nerve-wracking where, Joe looked okay. Joe Flacco looked okay. Joe Burrow looks like a little bit subpar from what I'm expecting from his MVP prediction season that I had, and also bet. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Browns always do have a tough defense, and I feel like sometimes in spots they especially play these division games a little bit closer, but didn't get to see most of this game. I did see the Cedric Tillman touchdown, and it seems like Chase was mostly subdued. I saw a lot of people complaining over fantasy stuff with him, and I had T. Higgins touchdown. No luck there. I think it was like I forget. Chase Brown had a touchdown. But what were your takeaways from this game, if any?
I think I don't know if all of us. I mean, I expected it to be exactly like this. Bengals end up with the gritty win, divisional game on the road, week 1. But the Browns ended up losing because of the Browns. And it's interesting to see the Bengals at least get a win early on in the season. I feel like we haven't really talked about that either. Maybe just getting that first one under the belt just kind of slingshots them into the rest of the season as opposed to maybe that 0-3, 0-4 start that we've seen. Obviously, you would have hoped if you're a Bengals fan to see a little bit of a larger margin of a win, and obviously it's tough to win games in the NFL. A win's a win. So hopefully they can build on it moving forward and help you out with your MVP and Super Bowl. Or no, you didn't have a Super Bowl, but Joe.
I just have the over wins, but
yeah,
it's one, man. I said it was very nerve wracking. I don't know. It gave me confidence because they were able to shake the early season blues, but then you look in the mirror and like that's probably one of the worst 5 teams in the NFL, maybe even worse. So, Michael, any spare thoughts on this one? Bengals Browns.
Not really. Another bad missed field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah, kickers alliance. I'm telling you, dude. All right, moving on to a game that Michael, you and I thought would be pretty good, the Colts Dolphins game. So 2 questions. First question: is Daniel Jones back? Michael, your take?
No. No other thoughts.
Why not?
Fair.
You just think that? Well, the second question is:
Because it's Daniel
are the
Dimes.
Dolphins really like crashing out, down bad, worst team in the NFL?
No, but they're like bottom 5, I'd say.
Interesting. So, what do you
Yeah.
attribute this game to? Just the Dolphins being bad? If you don't think like schematics, what do you think was the case? Why did Colts got this win in such grand fashion?
I don't know. I think it's just week 1 BS, honestly.
I see it. We had a commenter last week. Rat said this was a rat line for the Colts to win this game. So shout out to him. But Cam, is there anything you wanted to add on this one? You were right. It was not a good game.
Yeah. I kind of hated on both these teams. I did think Tyler Warren looked really good. I'm not sure if he can continue to be a main focal point in their offense and help out Daniel, but I don't believe in either of these teams going forward. I think it was a fluke win. I think the Dolphins are a bad team. I think the Indianapolis Colts. It was also Jim Irsay honorary day,
You know that, yeah.
So it's kind of like a must-win situation for the Colts, which I didn't realize on the last pod. But yeah, I don't really have much optimism for either of these teams for the rest of the season.
Well, I said it before. I think the Colts could be fun in spots, but yeah, the Dolphins, like this could get really bad, really fast.
Big week
We'll definitely talk about.
Zach, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
we'll
sure
definitely
Zach
talk-
was in the 3rd quarter, wasn't he? Maybe early 4th, but
I don't know. I'd honestly. Well, the way I was watching the Pats only for the first half of the games, and then I turned on the second half. So by the time I turned on Red Zone, this game was already over. Got the second TV going. So yeah, I did pick up today though in Dynasty Quinn Ewers. So I'm hoping maybe he can get some snaps, do something if Tua gets hurt or something. All right, we got some more comments from the chat. Recent guest or recent commenter and appearance, Gabe, joined the stream last week. He says Daniel Jones isn't back. He never left. Giants equals bad at football. Michael, you were saying that Daniel Jones is not good and not back.
I don't know if he's not good / not back, but I think it's just the Dolphins being ass situation.
Fair.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen it with not just the Giants, but the Jets too. Like a lot of these quarterbacks getting a second life and doing maybe not like top 5 quarterback play, but you're getting a mediocre quarterback who's ended up keeping you in the hunt for at least the beginning of the year. It's possible I see the Colts doing that. I just don't know if they have the roster. I mean, they do have good players, but the locker rooms, I feel like, usually fucked. And I don't know. I'm very anti-AFC South as well, as we talked about. But
I think it depends on the defense because I do think they have offense. Well, it also just obviously going to depend a lot on Daniel Jones if you can do this consistently. Because they do have good offensive weapons. Defense, I don't know, is a little bit suspect. Anyways, we have more comments. This on the Dolphins side of things. Fantasy advice: do I try and trade Waddle? I would say hold the line for now because I do think Tyreek will get traded at some point. Like I think his time's coming to an end there, especially he's not getting targets. So I think Waddle could be the number one. And Tua loves them short passes to Waddle. Even Waddle will be a guy who gets like 10 catches for like 96 yards or something. That's freaking 20 points. So my advice would be hold on Waddle. What do you guys think?
Agreed. Not much more to. I think Tyreek's going to explode pretty quickly if the Dolphins continue on this track. So,
all right. One more comment. Hope Hill maybe crashes out and gets traded. Yeah, can't mention that right there. So, all right. Next one. Another delayed game. Jaguars, Panthers. Another one we thought was going to be a good game, but Jaguars win the division, man. You better watch out. They look pretty good.
okay.
Trevor is back. This made me pretty sad because I don't know. This feels like Bryce Young might just not be good, which would be unfortunate. Michael, is there anything we're taking away as Bryce guys from this one? Is this just week one, put it in the way, and then file it away and come back, or is this concerning for you?
Yeah, definitely not ideal. I don't know. I think they just they're obviously not going to be a great football team this year. But their like weapons on offense could definitely use an upgrade. I know they drafted Tet and they have what's his face?
Leggett, maybe?
Leggett and Hunter Renfrow, but like none of them are wide receiver ones.
Didn't Chuba
maybe
score?
In 3 years. Yeah, Chuba scored receiving
touchdown.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the Panthers are like a late season push team to get to like 7 wins after they have 4 wins through the first 12 weeks or something like that.
Cam, what's the temp in Charlotte? Boots on the ground. How they
Not
feeling?
much talk, honestly. Kind of quiet. A lot of people had higher expectations, but still not giving up hope yet. It seems like they're kind of just pretending like it didn't happen. This reeks of the game that we just talked about with the Dolphins and the Colts. I think both these teams are kind of ass, and you can't really read too much into it. I really don't feel the same about the Jags as you do as a potential division run, but I mean, it's week 1, so you can't really tell. Especially with that weather delay, kind of fucks everything up. I don't know, but
They're tied for the division leader now with the Colts. You just said shit, so it's true. Another comment from the chat. Panthers strike me as a team who would love to have Cade Klubnik or Drew Aller. I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't see the fit there right now, but
yeah.
I feel like they could give Bryce another year, even if this goes poorly. I don't know. Maybe they draft somebody in like the mid rounds. All right, next game, depression season. We'll start with Cam. Panic level, 0 to 10 after watching this game.
Very low, 1 or 2. I'm not panicking. I'm not. Well, it's a panic on what? Panic on like making the playoffs.
A season. You had us in the playoffs, 9 wins.
Yeah, I think that's still definitely attainable. I mean, this is classic week 1. We have no idea what we are. We have no idea what the Raiders are. I know it was at home, kind of shitty weather, and they looked pretty good in the first half compared to what we saw all of the past 2 years. I thought they were at least moving the ball. Booty, however you want to pronounce it, looked pretty good. The running game looked atrocious. I really want them to step that up, especially coming into week 2. Obviously, we're going to talk about that. But I thought the first half, like I was pretty confident going into the second half, and then they just absolutely fucking like fell asleep. Nothing happened in the second half. Just stupid mistakes. The pick by Drake. I honestly didn't mind the punt in that situation. Like I know he's getting a lot of heat for it, but
that was stupid.
He got what he wanted. He got that 3rd and 20. Was the defensive play call on that 3rd and 20 terrible? Yes, absolutely. Like you shouldn't be zeroing blitzing, having one-on-one coverage without your best corner out there on the field. So there was some questions when it comes to coaching. I didn't hate the time management on that play, but obviously that's been probably the biggest talk of the entire weekend after that game. But I don't know. I'm not extremely stressed out, but it definitely puts a little brakes on my expectations.
I'm at a 5 or 6 out of 10, dude. I think this was a very bad sign moving forward. I've been a Drake defender. I still think Drake could be good, but he was overthrowing a lot. Like it was very noticeable. And you can say the weather, whatever, but I don't know, man.
He was doing that in preseason too. No, yeah, like it wasn't just he's been doing that all camp. Yeah.
Run game was atrocious. I mean, I think they're kind of deciding who they want to be the main back behind either Ramondre or Travion. I feel like they don't want to give it to Travion yet. And the defense, man, I mean, we got bailed out by that pick because they're about to go right back on the field and score 2 touchdowns early on. Like it looked like 3rd and 20, like 2nd and 15. It was just easy first downs I was watching the game with Gabe. He's a Raiders fan. He's like, the 2 people we're going to throw the ball to are Jacoby Myers and Brock Bowers. And they're just like wide open, naked. Brock Bowers, like 100 yards. I think he was the highest scoring tight end in fantasy. Myers, we know what he's about. And I mean, Genty didn't even do much for their side. Obviously, it's Pete Carroll, so I don't know. But we have Mike Vrabel now, so there's no excuses on the coaching end. I don't know. This gave me a lot of concern where if you're going to be a playoff team, you're going to be 9 to 10 wins. You needed this win, in my opinion, at home against. I don't think the Raiders are going to be like a great team. I could be wrong. Maybe they make the playoffs, but this gave me a lot of concern. And there's a lot of stuff about there about Drake. I think we pumped the brakes in the Drake stuff. It is year 2. I'm always willing to give quarterbacks more of an extended window, but I don't know. This didn't give me like vibes that we're going to be a good team this year. So
I think we also have to consider we're not playing with our best player on the team. And I think Christian Gonzalez, like they kind of built the defense, I feel like, around him, with Carlton Davis being that number 2 corner as opposed to the number 1, and Marcus Jones playing in the slot as opposed to being your second corner. I really want to see them at full health. I know it's the National Football League and injuries are going to happen, but it's week 1. I'm not ready to push the panic button yet.
I'm not. I mean, I'm just close to pushing it where it's like, that looked like a game from last, a little bit better, but not the improvement that I was hoping to see. Maybe we have higher expectations, or maybe I have higher expectations just because I thought they were going to be really good this year. But we'll see. Jury's still out, but I'm close to pressing that panic button. Michael, did you have any spare thoughts in this game before we move on?
No, I kind of agree with Cam though. When your best corner's out, like it's not that your best corner's out and you don't have that guy to match up, but everyone else has to move up a spot in your coverages, and that's like a huge deal. Also, running the ball 12 times, tough luck.
Oh yeah, that was your box score observation. Drake's throwing it like 47 times.
47 dropbacks when you're winning in the third quarter is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Vrabel would be more, I don't know, take more chances, but what do I know?
I mean,
All right,
he
more
had
comments.
Derrick Henry in Tampa or in Tennessee too. So
True. Ramondre next to Derrick Henry. I'm down. More comments in the chat. Starting from the last one with the Drew Aller comment, she was saying that in bad scouting would lead them to drafting Kate Klubnik or Drew Aller. And yeah, I don't think either of those. Well, jury's out. I'll have to watch more of their tape. I don't think Drew Aller is going to be that good, but Kate Klubnik maybe. So an answer for the running game. Travion too busy getting engaged. How about lock in? Is that cause for concern on his end of?
Yeah, Cam, you were the one talking about Travis Hunter having a kid or whatever he was doing. Remember?
No, it was Kelsey. I was hyping up the Kelsey Swift. I had a Kelsey touchdown fucking booked in Brazil, worldwide game. Everybody's eyes on you. Yeah, you're going to score a touchdown when you're the most famous man in the world right now. So I'm all about Travion having a good time, but also, I mean, there is a point to lock in. I don't think that had any influence on his performance, but
Okay. Now to the game that we probably all collectively watched the least on this pod, Cardinals Saints.
0 snaps.
I did watch. The Saints jerseys were awful.
yeah, that was the only thing I picked up on, honestly.
But this kind of went as expected. I honestly thought the Cardinals would win by a little bit more, so maybe there is something to be said for the Saints covering a spread in the next couple of weeks. But I mean, not much takeaways. I feel like I don't even know what happened in this game. It just was kind of like
no one gives a shit. Next game.
Yeah. All right.
I agree.
Cardinals, good win. Next game, another banger. Steelers, Jets, the Aaron Rodgers revenge game. Another one that came right down to the wire. Michael, would you like to hear the crowd first, or would you like to give your takes first?
Crowd.
All right. Cam, take us away.
Yeah, I was very surprised. I thought this was going to be a close game, but very low scoring. Justin Fields looked pretty fucking good for his first time as a Jet. Aaron Rodgers also throwing for 4 tutties. I don't know if that was due to bad defensive play, but obviously Ramsey comes up big at the end, and they have a lot of big names on that defense. So do the Jets. So I don't know. It could just be a little week 1 fluke, and it's also a revenge game for both quarterbacks. I think they both played pretty well. If I was Mikey, I'd be relatively optimistic, but also the Jets are the Jets. No offense, but a little cause for concern. But I don't know. They, like I said, week 1, I think they played pretty well. But I mean, one of the more entertaining games, if not the best one in the 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah, I mean, this had storylines. Fields look good, so there's hope for Jets fans. I had a Jets fan friend who said that Mason Taylor looks like tight end 1 of the future. I don't know what that means, but I feel like I don't know. I didn't see it. Garrett balled too. I feel like the Jets were firing on all cylinders. Wasn't the defensive masterclass you hope to see, but Aaron looked in prime form. I feel like earlier on in the season, especially, Aaron's better as well. So when he's got that vendetta, I think this is a game you're just saying, okay, the Steelers might be a different team this year as well, with different wide receivers, different quarterback, obviously. So I think this is overall I never want to give moral victories, and you always try and win the game, but if you had any moral victory as a Jets fan, I feel like this is feeling pretty good after this week. I mean, the Steelers did make the playoffs last year, still have a crazy defense. You put up 32 on them, almost won that game.
So the Michael, first time since 2021 that the Steelers have let up 30 or more points.
Okay. So there you go.
Also the first time since 1990 something that the Jets did not punt in the first half of a football game.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is the best offensive game that the Jets have ever played in my fandom of the Jets. Probably. That's probably not true, actually. There are some Fitzmagic games that were electric. But since then, bad and terrible and worse than bad. But yeah, I like the Aaron Rodgers stuff. I could give two shits, basically. Him
You
being
care.
like,
Be honest, you care.
him being like, I'm so glad whatever he said after the game, like
Douchebag thing to say. Yeah.
like I love beating everyone on the Jets or whatever. Like he's like, oh, they wronged me when literally.
You played like
Well, that's athletes though. They have to do that in their head to hype themselves up.
Yeah, whatever. I don't blame him either, but like,
fuck him.
come on, buddy.
It's so wild that you were like
think-
a huge supporter. Now you're saying fuck him.
I'm not saying fuck him, but
I'm saying fuck him for Mikey.
We all
I'm
know
saying I don't care about it. People
Yeah.
were making a big deal about it. Yeah, I would say that I'm optimistic still. My opinion on their season sort of doesn't really change because they do have a tough schedule. I am surprised how good the offense looked. I knew they were going to run the shit out of the ball, and they did. Brees,
Do you like that? Do you like that style of offense? I know it's probably a lot different than what you've seen.
I would love them to run the ball every single play.
Okay.
every single play.
I don't think their receivers would like it, but
What about Garrett Wilson? You're just gonna let him rot?
he can balk.
He can walk.
Clip that. Send it to Garrett.
Yeah, but their defense, I don't know. They had a lot of like slipping and falling in coverage, and they had a couple blown coverage. Like 2 of Aaron Rodgers' touchdowns were just free because someone slipped, or there was one that was like a pick play that wasn't called. And then Xavier Gibson fumbling on a kickoff return, so they scored 2 touchdowns in 25 seconds or whatever it was, kind of ended the game, which is tough. And then he was cut today, so that was awesome. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for their season because I think they played a brand of football that is easily replicable and fun to watch. And that's kind of all you can ask for right now in this stage of like their team and their team building, because nobody really expects them to make playoffs this year. They just want to be like a competitive team that makes games fun. And I think they can do that for the rest of the year. So, yeah.
Okay. Positive outlook on the Jets heading into the future. Speaking of New York, the other New York team had a game.
They did not have a game. They had
No, they had a game that they played. I don't know. This was the other game that I didn't catch much of. And, I was kind of surprised. I think at least me and someone else took the Giants. I'm not sure if we all took the Giants. But
yeah.
Pretty surprising outcome. Like I thought the Giants would keep it close. And, maybe I'm just like not praying, but like thinking that the Commanders will have a downfall too much to give like them credit for what they're able to do and be a good team and come in here and just smoke the Giants. But I don't know. Was there any takeaways from this game? Honestly, didn't catch a lot of it. Dart, it's pretty well, maybe we'll talk about the week 2 stuff, but yeah, I mean, Giants are just bad again. Like the fans were back to being depressed instantly. These are most of my friends from Syracuse are Giants fans. So you could feel the temperature in the room heating up with their comments, a little bit passive aggressive fantasy chat, stuff like that. Like it didn't feel like a good vibe coming off this Giants team. They do have, our defensive line's really good. Malik Neighbors was getting a lot of targets. I saw that, but I mean, yeah, not great.
Yeah, I didn't catch much of it, but I think it's inevitable Dart comes in sooner rather than later. I honestly wouldn't mind a little Jameis action before, too. Like, if we want to not go straight to Dart and go with...
I know, that'd be fire.
That would be a lot more of an entertaining Giants football team, because I fear I might not watch a single snap of them until they switch up quarterback play.
Well, the Giants have a Sunday night matchup with the Chiefs, I think week 3 or 4.
Interesting. Well, Jameis action, see if we can outscore. I mean, who says no? Not me.
Yeah, I mean, well, since we got into the Dart stuff already, and we have a comment on the Dart. Over under week 4, Dart starting, they already had to clarify this week that Russell's still the starter. So you have a Schefter tweet already week 2 that it's going to be a short release for Russ at least. I don't know if they put in Jameis or they put in Dart. I got the over on this because they play this week.
I'm pretty sure Darts can the backup.
Well,
Jameson's the third.
here's the situation. They play the Cowboys this week, which, rivalry division game, maybe some things can break their way. Then they go to the Chiefs, or they play the Chiefs. I don't know where that game is. Then they play the Chargers. So I think week 5 is when Dark gets in potentially after that stretch of games. So I got the over, but just spread over.
I love Jameis week 3 and 4. Give me Ben for us. Give me Jameis 3 and 4, and then go to Dart week 5. That'd be perfect.
I love it. This is a comment from someone we may see later. Mark, he says, "4 Loco on pod is devilish behavior." Your response?
It's our sponsor. Jeez, I'm forced to do it.
No one's
guys
forcing
don't
anything. No
understand.
sponsor.
I'm forced.
Maybe if you want a good budget drink, this is not a ad. This is not a recommendation, but 4 Locos.
It's good for dinner. This is my dinner right now.
Okay. 4 o'clock. We had the Broncos-Titans game. I wanted so desperately for them to score on that last drive. Almost covered the spread to just flap at Cam, but you got it, Cam. Broncos win somewhat easily. A game that didn't feel too close. I feel like Cam Ward didn't have a lot of yards, but I thought he looked okay. Better than expected, especially the Broncos defense coming off last year. What were your guys' takeaways in this game? Michael, you watched 4 o'clock slate, right, or no?
No.
Okay. Cam, your thoughts on that Broncos Titans?
I agree. Cam Ward did look better than I expected, especially against one of the better, if not the best defense in the probably AFC or the league in general. I do agree where the score didn't necessarily reflect how the game was being played. I thought the Broncos were kind of managing it as if they were in control the entire time, but obviously the score is what determines wins and losses. So I do think this Titans team is definitely still going to be terrible. I think the Broncos kind of went in and weren't really expecting the Titans to be anything, and the Titans outplayed their expectation and kept it relatively close. But obviously the Broncos pulled away, covered the spread. Not really. I'm in the survivor pool. That was my favorite pick. I fucking hate the Titans in the AFC South in general. But
I thought you said you were taking the Patriots your survivor pick.
That was an absolute cap pick. I would not rip that week 1. But no, I picked the Broncos. I thought that was the easiest pick this week. But yeah, it makes me a little more nervous about the Broncos moving forward, but I'm still very anti-Titans. They're on my ban list, so prove me wrong.
Okay. Oh, I have an addition to the ban list that I said I would bring up on the pod. Actually, we'll save it for the end because it's college, not NFL. Okay. So, yeah, not much else to add from this game. I think there was a Bo Nix crash out that was really funny. But besides that, I didn't have much from this game because I was meal prepping during the 4 o'clock window, so I missed the second half where I missed some of the games. But 49ers, Seahawks, NFC West. Cam, your favorite division? We kind of all were on the 49ers wave, except for Michael. Maybe, he had that Darnold hope in him, but 49ers get it done. Purdy, though, it's a classic 49ers situation where now Kittle's out, Purdy's out. McCaffrey was almost a late scratch of the game where he got added to the injury report. Seahawks, I don't know, I feel like just from what I watched, wasn't a very inspiring performance from them either. So will you be continuing to fade the NFC West, Cam, or was there something you liked that you saw in these teams?
Absolutely. I did like a little bit of the fight back with the 49ers, especially with Kittle out. I do think they got bailed out by playing a less than mediocre team. I was not high on the Seahawks going into the year, and I'm not high on them now. I think Sam Darnold was just put in a perfect situation last year, and Kevin O'Connell brought the best, if not even more than his best, out of him, and I can't see that being reflected again in Seattle with a defensive-minded head coach. So I'm still anti-Seahawks. 49ers, I think they could end up winning the division. I don't know, compete at least, but I'm just anti, as you know, NFC West. So that's my take.
Okay. Comment from the chat. Michael, if there's anything, I know you didn't watch this window, but there's something else you wanted to add. Brock's Prob's not playing Sunday. Yes, we'll definitely talk about that when we get to that game. Next game was Packers-Lions. This one put a smile on my face. Packers. First half, Jordan Love looked insane. Second half, I didn't watch it, but I heard it was bad. Kind of just punched the Lions in the mouth. I think I was especially a little bit down on the Lions. Thought they wouldn't have it as much without the coordinators. I think, Michael, you mentioned that last week as well.
Yeah.
Cam, we riding Packers Super Bowl or what?
I don't know. I really I had the Lions in this game just because I thought it wasn't going to be that much of a steep drop off, and I thought it was going to be interesting to see how the Packers come out week 1. But they played their asses off. I mean, they basically dominated the whole game. I think this is kind of more of like the Broncos-Titans game where the score didn't even really reflect how much they dominated. Didn't really seem like the Lions really had a chance. There was one time that they could have gotten back into the game. I think it was either late second quarter, early third quarter, but there wasn't much explosive plays, much different without Ben Johnson. And I know it's going to be something we talk about in the next segment, but I don't know. It's definitely a more concern of me being high on the Lions for the remainder of the year. But I was also pretty high on the Packers. I had them in the Super Bowl in our futures picks, so they look incredible, especially with Micah on somewhat of a pitch count. So curious to see how that kind of develops throughout the year.
Dude, this game was like a freaking Micah reality show. Like every 2 seconds they showed him. It was crazy.
So bad.
Yeah.
That was wild. I mean, I thought the Packers looked pretty good. If they can maintain that the way they're playing, especially in the first half, I think they're going to be a hard team to stop. Lions, I do think will bounce back a little bit. We'll get to them in a bit. But another game that happened at 4 o'clock. Honestly, didn't see a lot of this game. Just saw Puka get hurt and then come back in the game. But the Rams pulled it off against the Texans. I thought this might be a spot for the Texans to get a little upset. But no, Texans don't. Did they score a touchdown, miss extra point, or they just kicked 3 field goals? I don't even know. I didn't watch much of this game, to be honest. But what were your takeaways from this game, Cam?
Again, anti-NFC West. I thought the Rams kind of would have won this game more handily. I thought they were a more talented team, I feel like, especially, I don't know. I'm big on Sean McVay, too. Bringing in Devontae. I know it's week 1, kind of a relatively newer group, but only scoring 14 at home was a little surprising to me. But I had the Rams in this. I'm pretty confident they're going to win the NFC West. That's my pick to win that division. But I also was high on the Texans to win the AFC South, and that does not change my opinion at all based on the other teams in that division. So not many takeaways like going forward, but I thought both teams played. It was kind of gross, honestly. Not much production on the offensive side of the ball, not entertaining, but yeah.
Okay. Comment from the chat. Someone who supports CJ Stroud, Ali says Texans offense is so awful and that O-line is going to get CJ killed. Any cause for concern for your AFC South prediction?
No. They played against I think the team that's going to win the NFC West. I couldn't see any team in the AFC South winning a different division in the entire league. So not really concerned there.
Okay. We head to Sunday night, which a lot of people are calling one of the greatest games, Sunday night games of all time, one of the best games. That's certainly probably the best game of the week. Bills, Ravens, this one left me pretty sad, man, because I feel like the Ravens deserved to win that game. Obviously, they made some mistakes, and I did bet on the Ravens. So, but I like the Bills too. So it wasn't the worst thing in the world. It was just kind of like, I don't know. I feel like the Ravens could have pulled that one out, man. And it's tough when Derrick Henry fumbles. When he doesn't, I feel like Derrick Henry is like not a usual fumble guy. Sometimes he does have fumbles. I'm like, oh shit, he's human. But he was dominant in that first half. Looked like they were running away with the game. Credit to the Bills for hanging in there. A lot of guys in the Bills, we were kind of questioning their wide receiver cores, at least I was, or their wide receiver core. You had Keon Coleman with over 100 yards. Shakir looked good in spots, and Joshua Palmer looked good. The tight ends. Bills look like maybe the best team in the NFL right now. What were your takeaways from this one? Mikey, did you watch this game?
I did watch the beginning of it. I didn't watch the end, unfortunately, which is the good part of the game.
It's okay.
But yeah, I mean, the Bills, these two teams, I feel like are, if they meet in the AFC Championship game, that would be pretty cool.
America would be happy.
Yeah. And Lamar played probably like a top 5 game of his career, and Josh Allen did maybe the same. And I mean, it was awesome that the Bills. Oh wait, no, they only won by 1, and it was 1.5.
Ravens did cover, so Ravens supporters.
But yeah, great game, crazy comeback. Bills are probably 14-win team. I think I said that in our original pod, but
yeah, a lot of people like them to win a lot of games this year.
Yeah, I mean,
because they can come back from anything. They have the players to do just like whatever they want. Like they could be down 17-3 and come back in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, kind of going back to meeting in the AFC Championship game, like I think these two are going to be the most entertaining teams to watch the entire year, and having them play week 1 on Sunday night was very lucky of us to see that. Hopefully it is an AFC Championship rematch, because I'd love to see not Patrick fucking in that game. But they are two, if not the two best teams, two of the best teams, but they're all, like I said, they're just the most entertaining. Like, it's always high-flying scoring. You also have good players on the defensive side of the ball. I know I hyped up the Ravens making improvements on their team overall. D-Hop made a great catch. I feel like Malachi Starks might have or had a turnover, made somewhat of a big play. But, I mean, I'm curious to see how the rest of the season goes for both of them. I think the Ravens have a little bit more tougher time winning as many games just because of their division. They always play each other close. Bills obviously in the AFC East, where especially when we thought the Pats were going to be that second team, obviously come out with a loss. They probably have an easier road, at least in the division. But like I said, I mean, we lucked out seeing this week 1. Hopefully we see it on later going into the winter. But Josh Allen and Lamar both played out of their minds. I personally, my focus 5 was Lamar and Allen. Just want to kick my feet up and watch. I didn't want to pick a game winner. Thankfully, that hit for my focus 5. I ended up saving probably my entire weekend, honestly. So not many other thoughts other than that.
All right. We have more comments from the chat. Some out of sport news here from Mark. Shout out Chapman blowing the Sox game today. Not too concerned with that. You know, he's playing like one of his best seasons of his career. Josh Allen and Henry on my fantasy team talk about cinema. Also, Keon Coleman, second-year wide receiver breakout candidate. Yeah, I think that Buffalo, that wide receiver room's like
he
any of those
developed
guys.
into their number 1. Like, he's your stereotypical kind of size and what you would want out of number 1.
I think he's like a deep threat guy too, right? So if Josh wants to sing it,
quick.
Like him, Shakir, Joshua Palmer, I keep saying, I think any of those guys can step up and be great and take over that wide receiver 1 role. We had one last game, the Vikings and the Bears. You know, I was thinking about betting the Bears all day. I didn't do it. You know, I want J.J. McCarthy to not be good, but it looks like he might be okay after throwing that horrible pick 6. Michael, what do you think about this game?
Yeah, again, I only watched the first half, so the Bears were really, really good in this game.
So you think the Bears are really good? No, they had – this is what I was telling my friend. My friends were like, Caleb looks so good in that first drive. I'm like, you have 4 months and plus to plan your first drive of the season. Like, obviously you can script something up. Ben Johnson, we know is good. So I think that was like a lot of it. And then he just looked like a deer in headlights after that. I mean, it's bad, man.
Yeah. It was sort of like everything was way too fast for him. Wow. What's happening? Oh. ESPN
Don't do whatever you just did. Yeah.
ESPN just started playing a video. He did kind of look like a deer in headlights after that because, I mean, they script the first 15, 20 plays anyway, so he knows what he's doing. He knows his reads, study that, and then after that, it's just sort of playing football. And I think or at least I predicted that it's going to take a little bit of time for him to learn the Ben Johnson offense because that's like not his style of football. He's like a backyard quarterback, like run around, sling it, and Ben Johnson's offense is like stand in the pocket, play your reads, like know the offense like that. And that's why Jared Goff was so good in that offense because he's a mind quarterback rather than like an athletic quarterback. But yeah, I mean, this doesn't really change my opinion on either of these teams. Like, I think it was sort of like a flash in the pan for J.J. McCarthy. We'll see.
Yeah, I think the Bears might be one of the worst 10 teams in the NFL. Like, I think my hype train just completely went out the window. I did see a very nice TikTok of them that would maybe want to bet at them and be like, this is the year. But I think Ben Johnson needs to prove it in order for me to back them in these games. Yeah, and also maybe the most brutal fantasy loss I've ever had in my life. I'm up. I need DJ Moore to get 9 points. He has it. And then in the last play of the game, they started doing hook and ladder, and he just fumbles. And after he was dead. He literally was dead, and he came back in the game, and then he hooked and ladder, fumbled it. I lost by 0.1 points. So No one wants to hear my sob story. I'll move on. Cam, do you have any other thoughts on this game?
Yeah, this kind of like Mikey said, this doesn't change my opinion on either team. I was very low on the Bears going into the year. I was very high on the Vikings going into the year. I loved the way McCarthy battled back. Honestly, there wasn't a doubt in my mind. I live bet them. I showed you guys live bet them 2 or 3 times. Even after the pick 6, immediately threw something down on them. I really liked how the defense stepped up in the second half. Like you guys said, Caleb felt the pressure. He relied. I know he typically relies on his legs, but I feel like he was relying them on as a runner as opposed to just scrambling and trying to make a big play with his arm, which I would be more concerned about. Kind of like Mikey said, from a Ben Johnson perspective, where he's kind of hoping for timing and accuracy on his play designs. Meanwhile, Caleb's just trying to do his own fucking thing and try and make the biggest play of the entire game. So this is, if I was a Bears fan, I'd be extremely concerned. But if you're a Vikings fan, I'd be pretty confident with JJ at the helm. I mean, first start, especially coming off of an ACL injury, I thought he played his ass off, especially obviously in the second half. But yeah, good week 1 overall. Can't complain.
Okay. Comment from Allie. She says, "Wise man Tim talking about my dad said JJ will be the second best quarterback of the 2024 class. What are our thoughts?" I actually, I kind of gave up sports arguing for a while, but I sent a little fact sheet of he was saying that JJ McCarthy is already better than Drake May. I'm like, dude, you got to chill with the program, guys. Compare the. I don't even want to get into it. I don't want to get passionate, but I don't think JJ McCarthy as of right now will be the second best quarterback of the 2024 draft class. That's my take.
Agreed.
Michael, we have Bo Nix, Michael Penix,
Great.
Caleb Williams, Drake, Jaden Daniels, Spencer Rattler.
Okay.
I mean, none of them have proved themselves yet, so
yeah, it's year 2. Let's chill out with the takes. All right, week 1 was somewhat of a success, but it's time for week 2. Thursday night
going
football.
over our Focus 5,
dude. Is this all right? Ha ha ha! Good one. Thursday night football. The Commanders and the Packers, 2 playoff teams, 2 teams that look solid in their week 1 debuts. Michael, we'll kick it to you. What do you think for? I have -3. I did see my pick would have changed. Full disclosure, I saw 3.5 on CBS Sports. Went to the DK. It was 3, so my pick did change. But Michael, take us away. Commanders, Packers. What do you think?
DraftKings 2 hours ago said 3.5, so I don't know about that.
Okay.
But
pull up the facts.
Yeah, so I had the Packers in this one by 1 million, and I don't really think this is going to be a close game. I think people are I don't know if I'd say back on the bandwagon of the Commanders after their week 1 win, but they're.
We can't see that shit though.
3.
Face though. After their week 1 win, but it was against the good old New York Football Giants, who are not so good, and the Packers are the Super Bowl pick, and I think that's not a terrible pick because they're going to be elite, and yeah.
Cam, you've been very emphatically agreeing.
Yeah, I'm big on the Packers. I don't know by 1 million, but I could see it being a 7 to 10 point win. I had a 3.5, still didn't bother me at all. I still took the Packers. So give me half the point here, please. So Packers -3. I definitely think the Skins have a wake up call with their schedule this year. I think a lot of their success. Sure, obviously they made it to the conference championship, but as the Giants kind of did. In our Brady eras, you kind of just got to get into the dance and anything can happen. I think in the regular season, it's a lot. You have to be consistent and more sustainable. I don't know if the Skins can do it this year based off of one of the tougher schedules in the NFC, especially facing the Packers week 2 after kind of Mikey talked about a cupcake against the Giants week 1. Going on the road in prime time. I love the Packers here. Maybe Micah gets a few more plays. And Jordan Love to continue success that he had week 1.
Yeah, 3.5 at home, prime time for the Packers. I feel like that's.
Well, primetime games are traditionally closer.
I feel like that's low though. I'd bet it at 5.
Well, people think the Commanders are gonna be good, man. Not everyone thinks they're gonna take a step back like we do. If it was 3.5, I was gonna bet the Commanders, but at 3, I'm taking the Pack. You guys kind of hit it all. I just think they're gonna have all cylinders firing. You know, I'm a Jordan Love supporter. I'm a Packers supporter. I just think, you know, they're gonna get more healthy as the season goes on. I hope the injury bug doesn't get him where, you know, Christian Watson's already hurt. Maybe he can come back and provide something.
Didn't he tear his ACL last year?
Maybe, but he's coming back like middle of the season. Josh Jacobs is good. You know, Tucker Kraft. They got everyone.
Edgar and James.
Shout out Daryl.
Shout out Daryl.
Defense looked good against the Lions. Granted, you know, think what you will of the Lions, but I got the Packers as well. You guys can hit a lot of the points, so I'll keep it brief. Move to Sunday, 1 p.m. We have the Giants and the Cowboys, NFC East, back-to-back weeks for both these teams. The order actually switched because I did do it in the order, but then it switched by the time I did it again. So I don't know. Maybe we're just gonna have to wing it as we go. So Giants, Cowboys, NFC East battle. Cam, we'll start with you here. What do you think? Cowboys -5.5 at home facing Russ.
This is one of my tougher games to pick of the week, honestly. I think I'm going to ride the Giants trade one more time at +5.5. I know we talked about divisional matchups, especially NFC East play closer. Giants really didn't hold up to that against the Skins. Also, I don't know why we keep calling them the Commanders, you two. I heard that when I was going to the bathroom. It kind of pissed me off. But I'm going to ride the Giants +5.5. I think the Cowboys have a more come-to-reality moment against them. I feel like these two teams are more of a rival than the Giants and the Skins. So I think the Giants will play them close even though they're on the road. Hopefully we see, like we kind of talked about the quarterback battle, maybe Russ gets a very short leash and we see a little Jameis action or a dart, but I know we already discussed that, but I'm just going to go with the Giants.
Well, if you think it's going to be close, then they're definitely not going to get in.
Well, maybe Russ gets hurt. I don't know.
Gee, swishing injury, man.
It's Russ.
Well, I'm taking the other team. I'm taking the Cowboys. I think this is a get-right spot for them. I think the Giants proved to me that they're the same exact team as last year, and I will not be putting any amount of money on them until I see a noticeable change in them. Their defense is good, but this Cowboys offense looks pretty solid against the Eagles defense. So I think this is a good spot for the Cowboys. Win this game by a touchdown, maybe like, I don't know, I'm thinking like 28-15. I don't know, a weird score where they can pull it out. I think this is an easy Cowboys win for me. Michael, break this tie. What do you think? Giants, Cowboys, who do you got?
I'm going to take the Cowboys here, but I don't really like it at all. I would definitely never bet this because I could see this
That's
being
good for the viewers.
Fair.
I would never bet this game because, I mean, who could trust either of these teams?
You have no idea what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah.
At all.
And like the Giants, you could see a world where Russ hits 2 long touchdowns to whoever, Jalen Hyatt or Neighbors or whoever, and Dak is doing weird stuff that he does sometimes. And
Dak dropped the here we go. He's locked in, man.
All right, maybe he's locked in, and maybe it's like 40-12, but I don't know. Taking the Cowboys because I have a slight bit of more confidence in Dak because I picked him for comeback player of the year, and yeah.
Okay. So your own pick gives you confidence, respect. We'll see what your confidence in this team is. Bills, Jets in New York. Jets +7. Would you like to hear the crowd or make your pick first?
I'm going to pick the Jets here because last week I picked them and they covered.
On spreads, yep.
One, Mike.
So we're going strong. They usually play them at home close, the Bills, Jets Bills. They play in New York, in New Jersey, they play them close. And I think coming off a very good game for both teams where their offense was very good for both of them, I think this might be a little comeback spot for the defenses. I think it's going to be more of a low-scoring game. The Bills have had the worst rushing defense in the league for the past couple of years. A lot because they get ahead and then the other teams don't really run that much, but they still have a hard time stopping the run, and Jets love to run the ball. So I think this could be a low-scoring possession type football game, and +7's a lot of points. So, yeah.
Okay. I'm with you. I'm taking the Jets. I don't love it. This is probably one of my least favorite picks on the board, just because I think if the Bills are going to win this game, they could just run away with it pretty easily. So that does give me a little bit of concern. Where also you have the Jets hype train, and I could just, unfortunately, in Jets fashion, it kind of just crashes down right up. I mean, immediately.
Not this early in the season. Come on.
Okay, then we have to go on a little bit. Yeah, so maybe they give them a game. I'm taking the Jets +7. I think that is a lot of points, especially for what we saw with the Jets. Was last week's game at home, or was that in Pittsburgh? Yep. Okay, so home crowd shut out. Maybe they're a little bit hype. Get behind the scene. They always do play the Bills close, so we know that's on record. And not a lot of tape out on Justin Fields and the Jets right now. So maybe you can do some things that confuse the Bills a little bit on defense. I think you rein in the Bills a little bit. I think it's gonna be a lower scoring game than last week for both teams. Maybe a 24-20 Bills win, something like that. Maybe the Jets eke out a 22-21. I don't know. I feel like weird shit happens every time these two teams play. So I think it'll be a close matchup. I got the Jets +7. Cam, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go clean sweep. A lot of fucking big spreads in this week's slate. I was thinking about audibling and taking the Bills -7, but you guys kind of hit on everything. The over/under I saw was at 45.5, which I really like for an under. You guys already talked about it. But yeah, you kind of hit on all the points I was gonna make. I think it's gonna be lower scoring, but Jets at home, both New York teams, divisional game, always play each other close. Not much more to add there.
Okay. We have a comment in the chat. Fantasy question. Do I start Fields versus Bills or Daniels versus Packers? I think you got to go Jane Daniels because you're looking at running for both of them. I do hate starting players Thursday night, but I don't know. Fields, I feel like could have a game where he's just 75 yards passing and then 40 yards rushing.
I think it's the rushing yards here for Fields versus the Bills. They don't really have any edge players who can keep up with him speed-wise. So I think this is going to be a big rushing game for Fields.
Fields Tud? Fields Tud?
On the ground?
On the ground? You got one last week?
Got 2 last week.
You got 2? I didn't see the second one. Okay.
All right. Any other thoughts on this game before we move on? All right.
Nope.
49ers Saints. Low spread. Saints at home once again. A lot of people think this team is going to be the worst team in the NFL. Looks like there's going to be a different quarterback heading in for the San Francisco 49ers. Some people on this podcast have said that Mac Jones will play Bryce Young in the Super Bowl. Some people have a signed helmet within arm's reach of them right now of Mac Jones. So, Michael, take us away.
I am neither one of those people.
49ers Saints.
Is it confirmed that Mac's starting?
More than likely.
All right. When I saw this before, it was 4.5. So the line's coming down after the news of Mac, which take it what you will. Yeah. I don't know how you don't take the 49ers after this comes down to 3, just because of if you take the quarterbacks out of it, they have so much more talent than the Saints. If you say Rattler and Mac will be the same quarterback in this game, I don't think you can. I don't know how you say that the Saints cover 3, but that's just me.
So you're taking the 49ers?
Yep.
Cam?
Yeah, automatic Mac. You'll see this come up in the Focus 5 as well. This might be Mac's breakout game. This might get him a little second life in his NFL career based off of this game. Not necessarily with the 49ers, but people are going to be like, holy shit, Mac played really well this week against one of the worst teams in the league. Let's give him a shot.
And then we're going to get Joe Flacco gets injured and they trade for Mac.
I'm so down.
There's a lot of opportunity. I don't want to see him go to the Browns, but I've always been one of the biggest Mac Jones supporters. I know he looked terrible in his last year starting in New England. I honestly think that has a lot more to do with the head coaching job and the offensive coordinator rotation he had to deal with, as opposed to his ability. Sure, he didn't look great at times, but that rookie year when he had a stable head coach at the time, and then Josh McDaniels, one of the better offensive coordinators at the time in the league, he led the Patriots to a playoff run as a rookie. I think he's more of that Jared Goff type where if he has a head coach like Ben Johnson where it's more timing and accuracy, I think he'd fit great in that system. I honestly think Coach Shanahan is going to dial something up for him and have him one of the biggest games of his career. So we'll see that in the Focus 5, but I'm hammering the 49ers -3.
I love the Niners as well. Obviously, had the prop out Jones. I don't know though. It feels like every time he's getting a shot, though, the teams are like Kittle's already out. Jawan Jennings is being a bitch. Brandon Ayuk is like out. So it's not like this loaded 49ers team, which it's Max, so he hasn't had really a loaded team his whole career. But I do think I believed in Max legacy in the 49ers. Like this was in making for years of him coming to the 49ers once he flamed on the Patriots and just rebuilding his career. I don't like the spot this early. Well, I do like this specific spot because you're playing the worst team in the league. So I think hammer the 49ers. I think it'll be a defensive battle. I think Mac only needs to do so much to win this game, and I think he can do it. And if he has to keep playing, he'll be on an upward trajectory. He'll be ending up like a Kirk Cousins level quarterback. And we do have an additional comment in the chat. I'm not sure about the Bryce Young thing, but I still think Mac Jones will play in a Super Bowl in his career. Speaking to that, comment from frequent guest in the show, Rat. He says Super Bowl MVP for Mac. Your thoughts?
I love it. Couldn't agree more.
Okay.
Is that 2025 or is that
just in general? Anytime Super Bowl MVP, Mac Jones, hammer that bet. It's probably like plus 3,000 million.
Yeah.
Okay. So any thought? I mean, this will probably be not much on the TV game, but maybe Mac fans will have it on.
What? That's the only game on the TV. What are we
Pats
talking
are playing
about?
at this time, right?
No, 4 o'clock slate.
They're playing at 4?
Aren't we
In
on
Miami?
the 4? Oh, I thought this was a 4 o'clock game. I'm tripping. I thought we already talked about the Pats. Never mind. My bad. Tell me.
You're good. So, classic NFL where every single team's playing and you have 10 games at 1 o'clock and 3 games
and
at
then
4 o'clock.
3. Yeah, exactly.
That's really good scheduling, guys. Okay, next game. We have another divisional matchup, AFC North this time around. We have the Browns, biggest spread on the board, 12.5 is what I saw on DK today. Michael, you look a little bit in shock. What do you think happens here?
I was kind of shocked, honestly, when I saw this, how big the line was. I'm going to take the Browns here because this is just an astronomical number. And if the Ravens blow them out 40-4 or 3 or something, like,
sure, whatever. Yeah.
Like you got me. But
yeah.
I'm going to take the Browns here because, they sort of moved the ball with Joe. And, the Ravens defense is much better than the Bengals defense. But I don't know. It's 12.5 is a lot this early in the year.
Cam, you're in agreement on the Browns?
Couldn't agree more. 12.5. Kind of it's the same situation as – it's a little different because they're playing on the road. But divisional matchup, they always play each other close. I know this Ravens team's, I feel like, much better overall, obviously on the defensive side of the ball compared to the Bengals. But I don't know. I like the Browns here, plus 12.5. Mikey kind of mentioned it. 12.5 is way too big of a spread this early on. If I lose this, good for them. Not too much over my head. I'm not putting my rent on it. But for the pod, I'm taking the Browns plus 12.5.
Okay. Yeah, if you know anything about me, I'm taking the Browns. I don't know. This is by default pretty much. I think it'll be a close game. I think both the Ravens and the Bills are coming off that very emotional back and forth game, scoring a lot of points. I think maybe both offenses kind of slow down into these obviously inferior division opponents. I don't think the Browns win this game, but I think 12.5 is just a pretty high number for, the Browns took the Bengals to the brink and, the Bengals don't really have a defense, but I think the Browns can cover 12.5. I think maybe they lose this game by even 10 and you easily cover. So
yeah,
10 I like the Browns to cover this. Joe Flacco, I think he was kind of slept on. I was having like a kind of bad week 1 where, we'll see if he still got it, but I feel confident that they'll cover the spread. Next game, we have
Didn't the Ravens also do that last year, though? They lost their first 2 games, one of them to a bad team.
the loss of the Raiders, yeah.
Oh,
Well, they
really?
lost when
They lost to
Isaiah
the
likely
Chiefs,
had like a
right?
toe out, yeah, and then they lost to the
And they
Raiders.
lost
in
to
week
the
2.
Raiders, so, I mean,
No,
Crumble
does
and fall.
history repeat itself, or did it just go like 60-3? Win over the
Browns money line.
could be Matt Brown's money lines, but
I mean, you're looking at a pretty penny there if you pay that premium. Next game, 2 of Cam's least favorite things to talk about: the NFC West and the Titans home opener. A lot of people are excited for Cam Ward to see what he can do in the Tennessee Stadium. We'll start with you, Cam. Get the torture over with. What do you have here, Rams, Titans?
I'm way more higher on the Rams, as I mentioned earlier. I think they probably win the NFC West, even though I'm obviously very anti the NFC West. I fucking hate this Titans team. They're on my ban list.
What is so wrong with them? Like, it's just a whole different team. It's a new year.
Honestly, I would bet the Rams minus the 12.5 in the spread that we were just talking about in the Browns-Ravens game than in this game. I don't even think it's fucking close. I think they might score, or they might win by 14 points. So 5.5, I don't give a shit if that's over a field goal. It's in between that and a touchdown. I think they win by at least a touchdown. Give me the Rams every day of the week. Even though it's West Coast going to not even East Coast, they're 1 hour behind the East Coast, so not that big of a deal. Give me the Rams.
Michael, 10 o'clock body clock game.
True. I'm taking the Titans
11
here.
o'clock. 11 o'clock.
Right.
True, because Tennessee is an hour.
Nashville.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Titans in this one, and it's because I am lower on the Rams than most, I think, and I think the Titans home opener, rookie quarterback, I feel like is usually a letdown spot, but not like.
Are you gonna say anything to support your decision?
I just said I'm low on the Rams.
Okay.
Did you pull up a chat GBT pick for this?
You could. Yeah, I'm taking the Titans here. I'm higher on them than most people, I think. And I mean, if they play the best defense in the league week 1. So Rams are not like that. And who knows? Maybe Cam Ward's like, oh, this is an actual NFL defense that's not the best in the league this week. So we'll see. Yeah,
I'm taking the Titans as well. I mean, I did it just to troll, but I don't know. I think they actually do have a chance of covering. This game speaks as like rat to me, and I'm still out. I'm still like trying to figure out if the NFL is going to rat us this year or just let everyone win money. Like, I think every single person I talked to who bet money last week won money, which is crazy to say. So I think the Titans will cover the spread at home. I think the Rams, Titans feel like to me a team this year that can play a bunch of games close. Rams have the Stafford aging injury. Just him aging is an injury. But, I don't know. I think the Rams are good, but they're going to be provided a test here where, they kind of handled the Texans, handled their lunch, but the Titans will come back. And this isn't an altitude. This isn't against one of the best defenses in the league. This is the Rams.
I have a question.
Yep, go ahead.
Are you two still confident in the over 7.5 wins you picked the Titans to have this year?
Yep.
I think it was 6.5.
That's fucking insane. Okay.
Let's
Let me pull up the week 0 pod.
Hold on, I got it.
Number was 6.5. Don't count.
I have it written down.
It's 5.5.
Cap.
Three different numbers across the board.
I have it at 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. I feel good about right now, especially when they pull off this upset against the Rams. We're still waiting for the holy shit money line pick, upset pick. So I think that could actually happen in this game. Browns, yeah, that could be a big one. But yeah, I'm rolling with the Titans, if not to just troll Cam moving forward. But I do think the Titans have a chance of winning this game. I think this will be a close game. I think you could see moments of Cam Ward legacy during this game. All right, we got more comments from the chat. Greg Small has joined us. Can we get a new room tour? No, my laptop is very bad, and if I try to bring it around, it'd be not good. But maybe I should dive more into the real life content. There was a podcast, me and Rat, just talking about absolutely nothing for 1 hour and 40 minutes, and somehow it's getting more views than anything I put in the last 2 months. So maybe we'll do more IRL streaming content. Need to see Crib. Maybe you will at some point. Come to Rhode Island ever, and then you will. Cam, how did you feel after the Locos? A question for you.
Incredible.
Always feeling great.
Yeah.
Greg has a take on the Titans.
When you pick your spread at 10-6, leading the pod, I don't think you can complain.
All right. Here we go.
Yeah.
Greg has a take on the Titans. He thinks Ward will be good.
I don't give a shit.
ACC pride. Vlog, I thought about doing some video game stuff. Maybe we switched up with the Dubcast, Things could change. Probably not a vlog, though. I don't feel like I'd be good talking in front of a camera.
You should drop the link of the Madden play against Beak. That'll do something.
That was a good vlog, yeah.
Yeah.
That is on my alternate channel if you ever find it. I think I actually streamed that as well. Okay. Another comment from the chat. Love the confidence, Cam. So Greg and Cam alliance this season?
Absolutely.
Cam's not having it. All right, continuing on at the 1 o'clock. Jaguars, Bengals. Bengals minus 3.5. Obviously had the rougher week 1. 1 point win over the Browns. This time they face a Jaguars team who looked good against one of the worst teams in the NFL. So I'll start this one out. I'm taking the Jaguars plus 3.5. I think this is a field goal game. I don't know what you saw from the Bengals that would make you say they're going to hammer unless they think it's a get right spot, but they also don't have a defense. Jaguars looked better on offense. I think the Jags are going to be a good contender this year, so I think they're going to cover the spread and maybe outright win this game. I think the Bengals' early season troubles may come to bite them here. Cam is once again in vehement disagreement over this pick.
Yeah, they got their first win under the belt. First one's always the toughest. I love the 3.5. You could have put it at 6.5. I would have loved it. Very anti the Jags this year. I do think the 49.5 is extremely high for this game. I don't think this is going to be as high scoring. Kind of how Dub mentioned, the Bengals might not be in full form yet with the early season struggles. But at the same time, I think they win this game by more than 3.5. But I also don't see them putting up a 35 burger in week 2. So I also think it's a little more different of a game than last week. They're playing at home against a shitty AFC South opponent as opposed to on the road against a divisional matchup who has notoriously played them tough year in and year out since the beginning of the Bengals' entire franchise. So give me the Bengals minus 3.5.
Okay. Michael?
I vehemently disagree with Cam Lindbergh.
Let's go. The boys are buzzing.
Yeah, I'm taking the Jags here. I had them making the playoffs and got to win these kind of games to get there. So also Bengals didn't look great week 1. Joe Burrow threw for like 75 yards or whatever it was. And yeah, I think this is a easy money dub for Travis Etienne to cook again. And
Hank Bigsby traded.
Thanks, Gone. My drafting both of them kind of, I guess, sort of worked out. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
You get Trav in full offense.
Yeah. But yeah,
Bashal Tootin.
Yeah.
All right. So Jaguars. Okay, we have one comment, but it's for Cam. So we'll wait till you get. Okay, here he is. Comment in the chat for Cam. Why can't we be friends?
I don't know. Just the vibe I'm getting from Mr. Small is not great. Hyping up Cam Ward, all the shit he was talking last week. I don't know. He's gonna have to earn it.
There's a lot of like wires to untangle. Like you guys were going back and forth last season, so I feel like that's kind of in the minds of most people. Stop vaping again. Bad for you, bro. I haven't vaped since the Jaguars and the Chargers playoff game like 3 years ago. Mike,
I remember it like it was yesterday.
I know the day.
I know the day. Itching for 3 years.
Mike. I will, dude. I don't know what this means. Here we go. I'm Team Cam as well.
Okay. Next game.
Seahawks Steelers. 2 former Jets quarterbacks, Sam versus Aaron. Michael, which one of your former guys will you take here? Steelers favored by 3 at home.
I'm not going to take the Steelers here. I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks. I think it was like kind of a perfect storm for the Steelers last week, and they shouldn't have won that game. And the Seahawks kind of got, I don't know if they got like spoiled out of a win, but like they were right there. Fumble on the last drive. Unfortunate. Yeah, I mean, I like the Seahawks here.
Cam pointed and made a motion like he also has the Seahawks.
No, yeah, I completely agree. I think as much as I've talked about how much I don't like the NFC West, I do think it's a good bounce back spot. I think Seattle was in the game the majority of last week. Could have ended up with a win if they played better down the stretch. I'm also not on high as the Steelers. Granted, they played pretty well on offense, but like he mentioned, several mishaps that happened that kind of led to that win, even though it was a 2-point victory. So I think this is a good get back spot for the Seahawks, and they end up potentially winning this game outright. But if you're giving me the points, yeah, I'll take the +3.
I got the Steelers. 10 o'clock body clock game. Well, they might be staying on the East Coast, but I didn't see a lot from the Seahawks against the top 49ers defense. I think the Steelers would provide that same problem for them. I do think this could be close. Maybe the Seahawks cover, Steelers win type situation. Maybe like a 15-13. But I like the Steelers get this done. I think Aaron is like feeling rejuvenated. I think it's going to slowly decline as the season goes along. The one thing giving me pause is I could just see both these teams being 1-1 after week 2. I don't know if I see the Seahawks as 0-2, but I think Steelers will get this done. I have trust in them. I'm kind of backing the Steelers a lot to start the season out. I don't know why, but I liked what I saw from Aaron Rodgers. I think he can build good connections with Calvin Austin. DK is his choice. Ben Skoranek, anybody, Pat Freiermuth. I like this in a grind them out game. I think the Steelers ultimately pull it out by either a late field goal or a touchdown, win this game, take us home to more 1 o'clock action. NFC North, Bears-Lions. One of my favorite picks of the week. I like the Lions -5.5. Get back spot. Bears. I'm done taking the Bears until they show me something. Lions have owned this team over the last couple of years. I think this is just the most obvious get back spot that it's just like you don't even want to take the Bears because it's just like you're just fading voodoo at that point, and it's easy to say Lions are winning this game. At home opener, tough loss week 1. They look like shit. Everyone's questioning them. Like this is everything you'd ask for in a bet, narratively wise, to take the Lions. I'm taking the Lions. Cam, you're nodding your head in agreement.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with anything you said more. I also think it's must win with your offense, especially after the performance you put on week 1. Your offensive coordinator that is supposedly the cause of your success for the past couple of years, being the new head coach of the team coming into your building, I think definitely lights a fire under their ass. I love the Lions -5.5 here.
Michael, are you going to be straying from the crowd or group ride?
I wish I was.
Why?
Because I feel like this could be a bear spot, but I don't. I'm not because the Lions
could be, but it's not.
It's not. If they were a better team, then maybe.
Yeah.
If they had a quarterback that didn't paint their nails, maybe. But
I was seeing some funny things about the male cheerleaders and stuff.
Oh yeah, Michael, we didn't talk about you hating the gray undershirt for Caleb.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, that was fucking.
He had the white jersey or whatever the sleeves were with quarter length gray and then full black arm sleeves. Like, what is that? That's disgusting.
That's the guy that paints his nails as quarterback. That's not your quarterback. Thank God.
Not my quarterback.
Not my quarterback.
I could see Justin paint some nails. I'll just say that.
All right.
Am I
you
wrong?
don't know Justin.
I think you are wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm taking the Lions here. Bears, could be this is my coach's old team, blah, blah, blah for them, the Bears, but I don't see that making any impact just because of how much of an overall better roster the Lions have than the Bears.
Attaboy.
Okay. Game of the week. Make or break for both squads. Pat's traditionally horrible in Miami. Michael, take us away once again before we get into the bias part of this.
I'm betting with my heart here and not my head.
That reminds me of somebody.
Taking the Patriots. I think the Dolphins are a 0-4 start away from firing the coach and trading everyone. And I'd love to see that happen. So I'm going to take the Patriots.
Cam?
Yeah. I would have taken the Pats at -1.5. But giving me the points. I know Dub mentioned it's always a tough game in Miami. especially this early on into the season. It's going to be hot as fuck. They're going to put us on that sideline where it's 105 degrees. But this is a huge game for Vrabel, I think, in my opinion. I think a lot of doubters, at least from what I've been listening to on Boston Sports Radio, this is kind of a must-win for Vrabel if he needs to earn back some of that trust. I know Dub's kind of like he said in the 5-6 on the panic button. I'm at the 2 because I'm confident that we can go down to Miami and win, which we haven't done in a very long time. I think the last time we won, I thought I heard something where it was 3 years ago when we ever beat Miami, actually. So I'm very curious to see if that comes up at all, even though it's obviously a new regime under Vrabel. Like I said, I think they looked pretty good in that first half of the offense with the shitty weather, not making excuses. But I think if they can maintain a little bit of that, they can beat this shitty Miami Dolphins team. And Mikey kind of alluded to it. They start off maybe 0-4, 0-5. You see a lot of big changes in that organization. So give me New England plus the points, probably money line, obviously day of. Kind of one of those guys, like Mikey said, betting with my heart over my head, especially if you listen to last year. I think I took the Pats in almost every single one of my bets against the spread. But so definitely don't take this gambling advice. But at least personally, I'm going to take the Pats plus 1.5.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Pats too. This is like your dream matchup week 2 to get back spot, but it's the Pats in Miami.
At home. That's the thing.
What?
I think you wish it's at home.
Obviously, we can't play in Miami ever, and it's like
I know.
Tua has played well against us through Mayo, through Belichick, like no matter what.
Yeah.
I just hope we win this game because if we don't, I'm going to be up to like 7 or 8 panic level.
Can't think like that.
I know, but like you have to because they need to win this game. Like there's a lot of pressure riding on this game. I hope Miami's as much of a dumpster fire as everyone's saying, man. That's all I'm going to say. Like. I hope there's a lot of learning to do, whether it's Will Campbell, Drake May. Like I think those guys got to get it together. Team leaders got to figure this out. I mean, defense, like they're still cutting guys in their defense, which is crazy to me.
Who they cut?
Some like backup defensive tackle, but he played a bunch for us. I don't know, but I disagree with you. What you're saying, they had one good drive in the first half. Like besides that, it looked pretty miserable. So I'm tentatively taking the Patriots. I hope the Patriots win. I was talking, feeding into your Boston. I think this could end up really bad for the Patriots. I was talking to a bunch of my coworkers today, and I'm a Patriots fan, and they're like, okay, cool. They got a free win this week in Miami. I'm like, I'm not so sure about that, man.
Yeah, because they don't ball. We don't play about Patriots football. They always lose in Miami because they always play them in the first 4 weeks of the season.
So I don't know, man. I mean, if you win this game, like there's a lot of positives that you can take from it. If you lose this game, it might be a lot of negatives. So we'll have to see what happens here. Okay, we have a bunch of comments to catch up on. Birdman Drug Stories has joined the chat. He says, that hat is something LOL. I don't know if you're talking about me or Michael's hat. You have to let us know down below in the comments. This person also hit a 5-team parlay last Sunday. It looks like the slot machine, so nice work there. Yeah, everyone's winning bets, bro. It's concerning. It's actually pretty concerning. He thinks this is a stay-away game. Pats, Dolphins, stay away. Michael, as a neutral viewer, do you agree?
No.
You would put something on the Patriots?
I would.
If you bet.
Oh, boy.
Interesting. Pascal Kettenmeyer joins the chat and says, RIP Charlie Kirk. Yes, today, Charlie Kirk assassinated. Tough scene to see. RIP to him. Dolphins, Patriots both suck.
Is this not a football podcast? What the fuck?
Yeah, we don't really talk about. Well, I mean, it's a national. We did talk.
We talked about when
Liam. No, was it Liam Payne? Yeah.
Or whatever the fuck his name is. Yeah. We'll have the comments with that again. See what happens.
All right. We like to mostly stick to football here. Dolphins, Patriots both suck. I don't think this comment.
All right, get this guy fucking.
I don't think this could be that far off, man. I don't know. The Patriots are giving me concern, man.
Where's your panic level right now?
He also says thank you for whatever I said. That was nice. Okay, Cam, another game you'll be watching every second, I'm sure. Panthers, Cardinals. For me, I'm taking the Cardinals.
On the ground? Oh, wait, no, it's at Cardinals, man.
For me, I'm taking the Cardinals.
Flying. I'll be there.
I'm flying out.
Arizona would be a fun time, man. I feel like it'd be a good time to go to Arizona. I'm taking the Cardinals. Just nothing from the Panthers show me that they're going to be able to cover this game. I think it's going to be like another Saints situation, especially in Arizona this time where the Cardinals traveled. Like, I think the Cardinals could be that sneaky like Saints team. Like, oh my God, they're 2-0. No, like just narratively, I'm saying they're going to be dog shit like the Saints were last year. But everyone's like, oh my God, the Cardinals are 2-0. Then we look back, it's like, oh my God, they played nobody. So I think Cardinals win this game, cover the spread, probably in a blowout. Bryce Young questions pursue. Cam, what do you think? You hate both these teams, but who do you think comes
I'm
out?
riding with the Panthers and the Giants. I'm putting in the same boat currently, where I want to ride with the plus the big spreads, but I'm definitely not throwing money on this. For the pot, I'll take the plus 6.5. I kind of rode Mikey's Chuba anytime touchdown wave last year. Ended up hitting week 1 too when I picked it, but I don't know. I love Carolina plus 6.5. You know my opinion on.
You just said you wouldn't bet it. So how much do you really love it?
No, I'd bet on Chuba.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on the actual spread, but the plus 6.5. You know how much I hate the NFC West. Especially this Cardinals team is the definition of why I hate betting on spreads. They are the worst. They just beat up on. They don't even beat up on teams. They beat the worst team in the league by 7 points and cover the spread. And everybody's like, "Holy shit, the Cardinals might be something this year." It's like
nobody's
no, they're
saying
not.
that.
Yeah. Well, if they do it this week, if they win by 7 this week, people are going to be saying it. Kind of to your point. I didn't listen to your full take, but yes, you're right. If they beat the Panthers by 7 or 10, they're going to be like the Saints last year. And it's like, actually, no, they're not at all. So definitely just fading the NFC West, especially the Cardinals. But I like the Panthers here for the pod plus 6.5. Maybe Chuba will make an appearance in the Focus 5, but we'll get into that later.
Michael?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Cam here and take the Panthers. We'll see probably a similar parlay in the Focus 5 for me as well. I said last week that I thought Jaguars beat them week 1, and then the Panthers come back and rattle off a few wins. So you can see the Panthers winning this game. Cardinals are like a classic lose to random teams. Never really beat good teams, but they'll beat 500 teams and lose to random terrible teams.
They beat the 49ers, man, all the time.
Wah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be like a interesting thing to follow Bryce Young for the first 4 or 5 weeks of this year. And the head coach, I could see if they are terrible through 5 weeks, are we going to see a head coach switch?
Who goes first, Canales or Bryce Young?
That's definitely a tough question.
I think Canales, honestly. I think they're kind of buying in on Bryce Young hype, especially at the end of last year. He got the city kind of pumped up about it, and then obviously they choked week 1. But
okay. More comments from the chat. Birdman Drug Story says, I'm a Niners fan. We already injured. Yeah, I don't like how the Niners is always just perpetually hurt. Sharing the stream. Good luck this weekend, everybody. Good luck to you too, sir. Hold up. He's sticking around. You're taking the Panthers. Ha, 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 ha. I feel like, Cam, that's something you usually pull on everyone else.
I don't like this guy either. He's joining the Greg Small bucket of commenters.
Well, maybe he has a proposal for you. I'll take that bet, buddy. Cardinals win going away.
Win? Yeah, straight up. Yeah, sure. I'm taking them plus 6.5, you fucking clown. If you're paying attention to the podcast, that's the whole point.
Yo. Chill. Because I live in Charlotte now, and I'll tell you what, they're horrendous.
I really hope I never see this guy.
Cam also lives in Charlotte. He's from Massachusetts, and they're also horrible. LOL, go Niners. Have a good night, guys. Have a great night. Thanks
He's
for
a
joining us.
bandwagon fan. Yeah, get the fuck out. Thank you.
You're an Eagle at the end of that too? Man.
Clown.
No, that's
He doesn't know ball. He doesn't know ball.
Thank you for joining the stream and commenting.
Thank you, Birdman Drug Story.
Yes.
Feel free to never come back, Birdman.
66% of us were grateful to have you tonight.
Yep.
Next game, Broncos Colts. Colts at home once again, plus 2.5.
There's only one pick.
For me, it's the Broncos. For me, it's the Broncos.
For me, it's the Broncos.
Thank you. Okay, thank God. I was going to get into another screaming match, But yes, Broncos.
Michael, go ahead with your reasons for the Broncos.
I think we could see a little Saints of last year out of the Colts, except it only lasting 1 week. And yeah, I think the Broncos, like, they didn't look great week 1, but the Colts also played a terrible defense and looked pretty good. Broncos are probably one of the best 3 defenses in the league. And Bo Nix probably won't turn the ball over 4 times again. Like, he might, but that would be unusual for him as a quarterback. Yeah. Broncos easy. 2.5 is very low, I feel like.
Yeah, this is like, I feel like this is either like
this is like a scammer line here.
An elaborate trap, and we could all just be falling into it. But I mean, I'd rather fall into that and take the logical bet and take the Broncos and feel good about my bet. Better coach, better quarterback, better defense, not better weapons. Probably I do have to better running back Colts, but I like the Broncos to get this done. I mean, I don't even know how like the Colts would win this game. I just feel like there's a lot of hype on this Colts team. Maybe like the public's betting the Colts. I don't know why this is so low, but for me, it's easy. I got the Broncos. Cam, you as well.
Yeah. I think last week was kind of a wake-up call for the Broncos, even though they won by 8 points. I think it was like, hey, we probably should have beat the shit out of that Titans team, and now they're ready to absolutely pounce on the Colts. And I think the Colts are due for a wake-up call based on all the hype around them after that huge win against one of the worst teams in the league. And I think they get it this week against the Broncos.
All right. One comment to address in the chat. In response to Cam, I think he says he won't dip because you lame, or he won't see you in Charlotte. Either way.
All right, next game.
Okay. Super Bowl rematch. Eagles, Chiefs, 425. I'm sure we'll hear Tom Brady on this call. Interesting matchup. For me, there's an obvious answer, but I'm curious to see what the crowd has to say. Cam, we'll start with you. What's your take for Eagles, Chiefs? Arguably, this is like the one everyone's looking forward to right this week.
Yeah, very fair. Look at the spreads across the board. The majority of them are over 3. We saw the Browns at 12. A lot of them are at 5.5. This one's obviously pretty tight at 1.5. I think it's the tightest spread other than that and the Pats. I was leaning towards the Chiefs at home, especially trying to get a bounce back win, but I don't know, because also the Super Bowl hangover story. But at the same time, I just think this Eagles team's more talented. -1.5. I think the Eagles win this game, and if they do win, I think it's more than by 1 point. So if I'm taking the Eagles to win, might as well take the 1.5. I don't expect a Bills-Ravens game from last week, so I'm going to go with the Eagles -1.5 here, even though they're on the road.
I got the other side, Ben. I got the Chiefs. I think it's all line. You think the Chiefs are going to be 0-2?
I think it's a fade. Chiefs might be on the ban list against the spread.
Whoa.
Bold take. I'm just floating the idea out there, but they're definitely.
I think this is the most obvious. Like the traps that we've been talking about aren't actually set, but this is the most obvious trap where it's like obviously the Chiefs are just going to win this game by like 10 points.
Okay.
Because
who is he throwing to? Who's he throwing to?
Tyquan fucking Thornton. It's the best quarterback in the league. It doesn't matter.
Tyquan Loki had a game last week, and it kind of pissed me off. I'm not gonna lie. I
don't even think they like the Eagles look entirely human. Like the Eagles didn't look like this juggernaut team that some people expect them to be. I think they kind of they do have an extra rest. Or both teams do have extra rest days. But I don't see the Eagles coming in here winning this game on a Super Bowl rematch, especially since it's flipped where the Chiefs won the first time, Eagles won the second time. I think Chiefs take this one, and then if they match up again in the Super Bowl, maybe the Eagles win again. I don't know, but I think Mahomes gets it done at home. Like this is kind of Chiefs do have a tough schedule. You got to kind of win some of these games. So I'm taking the Chiefs. I just think it's an obvious spot where a lot of people are going to be betting on the Eagles. Everyone likes to fade the Chiefs in general, so I'm taking the Chiefs. I think this is one of my favorite picks on the board. Chiefs +1.5 at home. Michael.
It's kind of tough because I don't know. I originally had Eagles on my board, like as a just like off the dome pick. Thinking about it, I kind of do like your logic of everyone's going to be on the Eagles because of the Super Bowl last year and because of Week 1. Yeah, I'm going to stick Eagles, I think, though. I feel like it's just this Chiefs team. Like if they start off 0-2, like I still don't think people are going to be super down on them. Like they're still probably going to be favored to, maybe not favored to win the division, but still favored to make the playoffs. I think they still would, even if they are 0-2. But I guess, yeah. I don't know. It's like it's weird. I don't think I'd bet this one, but
this is definitely the toughest game to pick, and all eyes are gonna be watching. So we'll have to see about that one. We do have another comment from the chat. When someone says win going away, that means win big covers the line. Dude on the right checking in from his mom's kitchen.
No, this is my apartment. You fucking clown. But
Do you know this person? They're from Charlotte.
I don't know. They might be a scammer, but I don't know.
Could
If
be
I
a
was
scammer.
the host of the Dubcast, I'd immediately ban this clown. But
We don't ban anybody unless I did ban one person for saying weird shit last year, but
That's
nothing
true.
has
That
crossed
was
the line.
definitely Mark.
That was NBA. That was NBA. So we have a Sunday night football game before we have 2 Monday night games. So this one is, an interesting Sunday night battle between the Falcons and the Vikings. Vikings back-to-back primetime. JJ McCarthy, home opener for him versus Penix, 2 2024 quarterbacks again. So another second-year quarterback matchup for JJ McCarthy. We'll start with Michael this time. What do you think? Falcons at Vikings.
We're going to take the Vikings home opener for JJ McCarthy, rookie quarterback home opener. I bet both of them this week with the Titans.
He's a second year, man.
That's why I gave it the...
Oh, you gave a quote. I didn't see the quotation of it.
Lock in. Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to be better than a lot of people think. And I could see the Vikings having a little bit of like a middling season, like 8-9, 9-8 sort of thing. But in this matchup, I feel like the Vikings defense is going to do well against the Falcons and win going away, as Birdman Drug Stories likes to say.
Okay. Little vocabulary learned there. I like it. I'm leaning the opposite way, though. I'm going the Falcons. I think it's going to come down to the last possession. Maybe, I don't know, it's going to be a close game. I do like Penix more than I like JJ McCarthy still. I don't know. I feel like there's been a lot of JJ McCarthy glaze, which is like understandable because we watched him in prime time, but I'm not all aboard the hype train yet. I think Michael Penix has been more, we've seen more from him, and I know more of what we're getting. There was a terrible half of football from JJ McCarthy, and maybe the Falcons can capitalize on that. I just think these two teams, especially like when you think of Falcons Vikings, like I don't remember any of these teams getting a blowout ever. So I just think it's gonna be a very close game. Comes down to a field goal. Maybe Coop makes it this time. Falcons win. Falcons starting 0-2 would be tough because I am kind of rooting for them. I like Penix for some reason. I don't know why. But I think the Falcons get this done, cover the spread. Cam, you're nodding your head in agreement on Falcons. What do you think?
I am, yeah. I think the Vikings game, I think the Vikings win this game by 3 points. I think it could be another, maybe not the same kind of game that we watched on Monday night where he leads a massive comeback in the second half, but I could see a backdoor cover from the Falcons. I originally had it at 4.5, but even at 3.5, I like the Falcons. I think it's going to be very similar to that Falcons and Bucks game, where it comes down to a last-second field goal to either tie the game or to win the game. And with that being said, when you're getting plus 3.5, I'll take the Falcons on that. So,
okay. More comments from the chat. Did you talk Giants? Yes, we talked Giants twice. Can I get a call up? I did drop the link in the chat for you. We have a guest caller. We know you love Penis McGann. Yeah, I knew that one was coming instantly.
all right. That's inappropriate for the pod.
All right. Talking Giants.
You have the floor, sir.
All right. So, look, the Cowboys played very well against the Eagles, right?
This guy's hammered.
Yeah, what are you going? What's the objective of this? Like, you can't just dive in there. Okay, sorry. Go
Okay.
ahead. Cowboys played well.
Let me speak. They played very good against the Eagles, right?
Right.
But I think they're going to have a really shitty game against the Giants. I think they're going to really I think Dak Prescott's going to throw 2 interceptions. I think the Giants defense is going to get after him. I think Abdul Carr is going to go for 2 sacks, and Brian Burns will go for 2 sacks. But I think Russell Wilson's going to play like shit. And I think this will be the last game you'll see him as the Giants starter.
Hold up. So you think Abdul Carter and Brian Burns are both going to get 2 sacks? Dak's going to throw 2
Combined for
picks.
2 sacks. Sorry, combined for 2
Okay,
sacks.
okay.
Yeah.
And Dak Prescott will throw 2 picks, and Russell Wilson will play so bad in this game that he will be replaced next week or during this week.
Yes, for
Okay.
Dart. That's
You
my
think-
bold prediction. Greg's bold prediction.
You think Dart over Jameis? You don't think Jameis gets a run?
No, he's already number 2. Dable already announced it. As much as I love Jameis, it's not gonna happen.
All right. So what's your question, or you just want to get your take off?
No, that was my take.
Okay. What's
Cam's
like the
bold prediction: Greg eats shit on his walk home.
Possibly, like very possible.
He's not looking at the camera. He's watching the road.
Yeah, he's very focused. Brady looks at the camera one time. He's
Dude,
plus.
I just got nut factory. Like I'm right. That's not.
All right. You make fun of me for saying I like Phoenix, and then you say you like nut. You have just got Nut Factory.
Yeah, dude. What's wrong with nuts?
Quickly
All
describe
right.
in one sentence what you just said is going to happen, and then we're going to have to let you go unless you have anything else you want to add.
I think the Giants defense is just going to play very well.
Why?
I think one game under their belt against a very good quarterback against somebody that is very overrated. I think Dak Prescott's a very overrated quarterback, and I think they're gonna I think it's first game of the season for them. No one knew what was gonna happen with Brian Schottenheimer. I just think that it was kind of what I'm trying to say, like a fluke of a game for them. Remember last year, like the Giants beat the Eagles last year.
When?
Was it last year? Yeah.
Might have.
Is this?
I
what a
think we
hangover
beat them
feels
last
like?
year,
I have a
yeah.
fucking migraine listening to this right now.
Why, Cam? Why?
You also, in the beginning of your take, you named off 3 different teams, and none of them were the team that you're playing this week.
No, I didn't. What are you talking about?
You labeled off the Skins, and then you labeled off the Eagles, and then there was another team.
Well,
involved
no,
too.
actually, they're the Commanders.
They're the Redskins.
All right. Let's
Stick
take
to the pod.
So last year the Eagles beat the Giants 20-13 on January 5th and 28-3 on October 20th, 2024. The Giants did win at the end of the 2024 season. All right. So you think the Giants are going to win? These boys
Yes.
both took the Giants spread, so maybe there's something behind that. But I think the Cowboys are going to win. One comment before you go from the chat.
What do you mean?
We actually have a comment for the caller, first time ever. McGreg looks hammered as fudge.
Who said that?
Derpy Entertainment.
Who's that?
You're asking me? I don't know.
I
People
wish.
split
I've
the
been a little sick, but I wish I was.
Oh, that's the
Fucked up
problem.
right now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Ain't no rest for the wicked.
All right, Cam, relax.
All right. Any final thoughts before we let you go? Because we do have
Team Mikey
Monday
all the
football.
way.
All right. Thanks for calling in. I'm sure we'll see you back at some point. luck
Yeah,
in your
let me
walk
be your caller in guy.
We already have that.
What
so you have
time is show? What time is show?
7
All
o'clock on Wednesdays.
7 o'clock on
Yes,
Wednesdays. We'll be
Every
here.
day.
Let's fucking go.
Bye,
I'm
brother.
in.
Go enjoy
All right,
your
safe.
Peace out.
Good talking.
Enjoy. Have a great rest of the show, guys. You guys are doing great.
All right. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Jesus Christ.
All right. Back to the regularly scheduled programming. Monday Night Football. Bucks, Texans, 2 playoff division winners from last year. Texans coming off a loss last week, home opener against the NFC South Bucks, who a lot of people on this podcast seem to like. So, Michael, we'll start with you. What do you think? Bucks, Texans, Bucks, 2.5 point underdogs.
Surprised the Texans are favored in this game after seeing week 1. I'm going to take the Bucks here. I could see the Texans still winning this game, but I think it's going to be a super close game, and either Texans win by, 1 or whatever. But Bucks 2.5 plus 2.5. They're playing close games. They're going to keep playing close games until they get their guys back. And the Texans, like, they didn't look good. I don't know what was going on with their offense, really. Someone commented before that their O-line was bad. I believe it because it has been bad for the past, 3 years. And
That was our Texans expert, Allie. She's watching CJ Stroud intently, Ohio State product.
yeah. And, yeah, I mean, they lost or they didn't re-sign Laramie Tunsil, and I don't think they replaced him with anyone good. So I could see that being a problem for them all year and leading to them playing a lot of close games because their defense is very good. And CJ Stroud can do enough with the O-line being bad, but not enough to blow out teams, I feel like.
So you're rolling Bucks.
Rolling Bucks.
Cam?
Roll Baker.
I agree. For actual betting, I think I'm going to buy half of a point. But for the sake of the pot, I'm still taking kind of Mikey's logic. I think the Bucks play the Texans tight. I think they're going to play every team tight throughout the entirety of the year. So if I'm getting plus points with Tampa, I have a little bit more confidence in them over Houston. Even though, as I've mentioned, I think Houston runs away with that division once they get into the divisional schedule and start playing less opponents that they've faced so far in the first 2 weeks. I'm a big Baker guy. Excuse me?
It's looking rough for the Texans, division winner.
It's all right. I mean, I'm focused week to week basis. I'm going with Tampa plus the 2.5. I don't like it at 2.5. I'd rather have it at 3. But like Mikey said, I see this being a close game. Even if the Bucks don't win outright, I don't think they lose by more than 3. So I'm going to go with the Bucks plus 2.5 in this game.
Yeah, everything was telling me to take the Texans. I don't know why, but I took the Bucks. I don't know, better team and you're underdogs. Granted, I'm not looking at, there are some teams that I do value home and away, but the Texans aren't a team that pops out to me as having this crazy fan base at home. I think there's a lot of issues to address for the Bucks. I mean, I kind of see this this is going to be a close game either way, so I'll just take the team with points. I kind of agree with what you guys all said. We have more comments from the chat. Derpy responding to the Greg. He said he wasn't wrong about Greg being hammered. He's got the Bucks in this game as well. Greg puts a false statement in the chat saying, I guess I met Cam for the first time. You called in last year when we did the NCAA show, and you said all the 16 playoff teams, so not the first time you guys have met. He says that was cool, though. So I guess, maybe something to keep an eye on moving forward.
No,
last game of the slate. Chargers, Raiders at home, Monday Night Football, a brutal 10 p.m. start, which I have been asking for this, so I can't complain of having the two games be separate starts. I wish I was back in college and I'd stay up and watch both these games.
You want this on week 1, I think, though, not week 2.
Yeah, with the week 1 intro or the week 1 Monday Night Football doubleheader was always hype. I don't know why they have to do the doubleheader, to be honest. I think it's just, more time you got. You had that 40 minutes before you went to bed after Monday Night Football, and now you're going to be fucking watching Raiders, Chargers before you rot. But I got the Chargers, man. I just think they're on that second level of teams, and I think the Patriots are on the second to lowest level of teams right now, and I think the Raiders are middle tier. So I think the Chargers, if you had to tier all the teams, I think Raiders in the middle tier, Chargers are a tier above, Pats are a tier below. So I think weaker competition. Yes, they look good in spots. I think the Chargers actually know how to scheme up a defense, and they will stop Brock Bowers and stop Jacoby Myers. Obviously, Brock Bowers is a little banged up as well. I think, this is going to be an interesting matchup, rookie running backs, Omarion Hampton versus Genty. Might have something in the Focus 5 for that. But I do think the Chargers will win this game, and I'm comfortable with 3 points as well. Obviously, Vegas is probably the worst home field advantage in the sport. So I got Chargers at -3. Cam, you were agreeing to that.
I agree. I don't know why we needed the Pat slander on that pick, even though I know they played in week 1, but seemed a little unnecessary there. But I do think the Chargers make a year 2 jump, especially with Jim Harbaugh under year 2. Obviously, Herbert looked incredible week 1. I know it was kind of a neutral site. No one really knows what's going to happen. But if you're taking the Chargers against the Chiefs in a neutral site, I think you'd much rather take them, even though it's -3 as opposed to +3 or +3.5. I'd much rather have this game than I would have last week's game. Like you said, Vegas is not really a home field advantage. It might be more Chargers fans than fucking Las Vegas fans, or Raiders fans, I should say there. So I'm going to go with the Chargers -3 here. I think Herbert kind of takes a year 2 jump with Harbaugh. So I'm going to go with them -3.
Okay. Michael, end us out.
I am not going to go for a team ride. I'm going to take Raiders here. Chargers did play a good game week 1 against the Chiefs. Another division game. With the points, I think it could also be a close game. I think the Raiders showed something week 1 that they can sling it around. Chargers defense isn't known to be so great. And I mean, Genty wasn't good week 1. He averaged like 2 yards a carry or whatever. But I could see this, like Dub was saying, being a little rookie running back showcase situation kind of game. So, yeah, I'm taking the Raiders here.
All right. So that wraps up our week 2 picks. We'll see how those end out. We do unfortunately have another cancellation from the DOUF boys. Not be able to make it. Hopefully they'll be here at some point. But luckily for us, Michael does have the picks. So Michael, go ahead and read out those DOUF picks, which for those uninitiated is the dog over that they like the most, under that they like the most, and favorite they like the most. 2 frequent guests of the show, Mark and Tendy, came up with their own segment. Wink, wink to those out there who are trying to be on the channel. Come up with your own shit and I'll put you on.
Not Greg. Greg, don't get any fucking ideas.
Nonetheless, let's start out. By the way, both DOUF boys 0 for 1, down 1 unit on the season. It's going to take, I think 1 win will cover the whole season.
I think both of them were 1 for 4.
Okay. Yeah, I heard Dolphins for both X immediately, but go ahead and give us their DOUF picks for this week.
So this week for Mark, we got Bucks as the dog plus 2.5. I like that pick.
Are these spreads or money line? I forget. Just spreads.
Spreads for the dog and favorite. Yeah.
Okay.
Over Chargers Raiders 46.5. Under Browns Ravens 45. Like both of those. Favorite Cowboys 5.5. Yeah.
Like it.
And then for Tendy, we got Pats +1 as the dog.
These guys in the +1 underdogs.
Yeah. And then we got Bears Lions for the over, Jags Bengals for the under. Bears Lions was 46.5. Jags Bengals was 49. That's a high number. And then the favorite of the week for Tendy is Bills 6.5.
Half a point.
Anti-Jets. Okay. All right. Good to hear from the DOUF boys. Some results from the Focused 5.
Yeah, can we get an explanation of the unit structure here?
Yes. So for every bet, I put in $1, and it's your winnings because you don't bet to get your dollar back, basically. Can I have many ideas? Greg says. So, oh boy, we might be getting a Greg Small segment. So I just put in the winnings. So like if you lose, it's -1, and then if you win, it's whatever the odds would be. So if you win +187, you win 187, that type of thing. So that being said, we have Cam coming up first here with the lowest amount of odds or most amount of units. We did all make money this week. Cam +3.51 units on the week. I had +10.74 units, and Mikey had +11.94 units. A big parlay carried by the Mahomes Hurts combo parlay touchdown. So, as is tradition, we'll be going in the order. So, Cam, go ahead and give us your Focus 5 to start us out.
So, I like to spread it out, as you guys know, if you're a frequent listener. So, Thursday night, we got one. I love guys that didn't score last week to score the next week. So, Thursday night, let's go with the first-round draft pick, Matthew Golden to score, Green Bay Packers to win. It's going to be +385 for that. I like that a lot. And then for number 2, same kind of concept, guys that didn't score last week but are bigger names. I like Gibbs touchdown, Adams touchdown. Kind of expecting a little bit more high scoring in the Lions and the Rams game, seeing how they didn't do as much production last week. That's at +257. My third slate is going to be a moneyline parlay, which is going to be the Rams, which we've kind of talked about, the 49ers, and the Broncos. All 3 teams I think are my favorite bets of the week. All three of those combined money lines can be plus 265. I think that's going to be my favorite bet of the week to ride. My fourth pick, actually, we'll save that. We'll save it for the last one. But fourth pick now will be the Bucks money line plus Mike Evans touchdown. Same concept. Mike Evans didn't find the paint last week. I think the Bucks win this game outright against the Texans. That's going to be at plus 335. And then finally, there's a little asterisk next to it, but 49ers money line. Me and Doug kind of talked about it. Give me Mac Jones, 2+ tutties. I had the same thing with J.J. McCarthy in his first start coming back, and that ended up paying out well for me. So I'm going to ride the same wave. Hopefully Mac does start, and the odds on that are relatively higher than they would be with Purdy. So I'm going to go with the 49ers money line and then Mac Jones, 2+ tutties. That wraps up my focus 5. I don't know the odds on that because it doesn't exist if we don't know who's starting at quarterback. So we can add that into the next week's segment of the pod whenever it comes out. But I will be 100% placing that if Mac Jones is announced as starter.
Okay, if Mac doesn't, what should we do if Mac doesn't end up starting?
So
I think looks like he's gonna.
I think a fair thing would be Brock Purdy, but rounded up to 3, just to.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So 49ers money line, Brock Purdy 3+ touchdowns is
Yeah.
the sub. Okay. All right. Great focus 5. Now for my focus 5, ended up hitting on 4 out of 5 of my bets last week. Was pretty surprised. I was gonna trying to lean off the trend of whatever I did hit, so I just hit more subs. I have to try this again. I don't know. We have a parlay for 1 p.m. money lines. Cowboys over the Giants, 49ers over the Saints, Lions over the Bears, and the risky one that I'm sure will lose, Steelers over the Seahawks. Those together give you plus 388. 4 p.m. parlay, I'm taking AFC West teams, the Broncos over the Colts and the Chiefs over the Eagles. That gives you plus 269. Touchdown scores. None of our guys scored last week. I don't think maybe James Cook scored, but we're going through the Sunday windows. 1 p.m., I'm back on the T. Higgins train. I think he's going to score this week. 4 p.m., I think Pacheco gets in a grinded-out game against the Eagles. And then Sunday Night Football, it's Jettis time. Taking those 3 together, plus 1,200 for those 3. I don't know why that's so high, but we're riding. Next, waiting all day for Monday Night Football. 1 touchdown score from each game. I like Mike Evans, like Cam, you said, to score in the first game between the Bucs and the Texans. In the second game, give me Omarion Hampton on the rushing touchdown or any type of touchdown. Plus 317, those together. I think that's going to be a running back battle, as I mentioned before. The last one, teasers. So we have the 1 p.m. slate. I like the Cowboys. Tease them down at minus 2.5, just in case crazy shit happens with the Giants. Tease the Jags up to plus 7.5 because that game's going to be close no matter what against the Bengals. And then tease the Lions down to minus 2.5 in case, these division matchups get weird. Plus 225 and all 3 of those together for the teasers section. So that is my focus 5 for this week. Mikey, we kick it to you, leader in the clubhouse for the units. What is your focus 5 for week 2?
Yes, I'll thank my mother for being the leader in the clubhouse with her plus 1,200 parlay hitting last week.
Shout out.
She gave me another one for this one.
I was going to say, there better be another one.
Not plus 1,200 anymore. She wants to take the Bills -7 and the Browns plus 12.5, which gets you to plus 264. So that's my first one. And then I'm just taking the Broncos -2.5 or whatever the line is. Straight up.
-2.5.
Minus 110. And then we got Packers -3.5 plus the Josh Jacobs touchdown, which would be plus 144. Then we're going to take a Justin Fields and a Josh Allen touchdown, same game, little touchdown rushing situation.
Strat from last week.
That's a plus 275, and I don't have a number for this one, but going off a little Greg Small prediction, we're taking a Abdul Carter and a Brian Burns over 0.25 sacks.
2.5?
No, over 0.25 for each of them. So over half a sack or more for each of them.
I'm not sure if that's bettable.
Yeah, I was going to say, how the
It
fuck
definitely is, because we talked about it last week. You can bet on someone getting half a sack.
You can?
Yeah.
All right.
Filibuster while I pull this up.
I don't know.
Great. Good to know I can count on you guys. Yeah, they don't even have the
Are
defense.
you looking on the green or the blue?
I was on blue because that's where I found it
I
last
was
time.
on purple, man.
Really? Is
What's
Mark ripping the
purple?
purple?
Yeah,
That's
it's
Hard
Florida.
Rock.
That's Florida. I've only ever bet in Florida, so that's what I got.
Hmm.
Fair enough.
All right, filibuster more. I'll go on the green and see it. That's good.
So, Mikey, have you ever watched Via Sunday Ticket before? Because I feel like we've talked on
no.
this pod for the past 2 years, and over 75% of the games, you have nothing to add because you haven't watched a single snap.
I'm a big fan of Red Zone for the 1 o'clock window, and then I often don't watch the 4 o'clock, and then I watch the late games.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Unless
So, are
the
you
Jets are on
are
at
you
2 o'clock.
usually going out or usually staying in for football, Sunday football?
Sunday football is a big time couch day.
Okay, fair enough. Are you a big college football guy? Because I know Dub wants to wrap up this segment with college football.
No.
Really?
I have
You
no
haven't
team.
bought into it?
I've never had a college football team, so I've never gotten into it.
Fair.
Comment from the chat. Relevance.
Who is it?
When is this?
When is the college football pod? It's a good
We don't.
question.
I gave it up.
Nobody cares about college football.
No, they care.
Who cares about Greg?
I talk about it for like 10 minutes a day. This is so annoying. All right. I'm going to have to circle back on this. So over 0.25 for both Brian Burns and Abdul Carter.
Basically half of a sack for Brian Burns and Abdul Carter is what Mike.
Okay. I'll see if I can find that somewhere. You know what? Maybe I'll pull up Fliff and see if they have it. Fuck it.
They probably do have it on Flip, not going to lie.
Yeah, they probably have like how many shoelace ties will Abdul Carter's cleat have? Greg Small says, stop. I love it. College football. And it also says a proposition for Mikey. Mikey, get into it. College football.
I don't have a team. I can't get into it.
You just got to buy into one.
I gotta get a guy. I gotta get a guy to get a team, and I don't have a guy, so I can't get a team.
All right,
I got. Jets have
nothing.
never had a guy, so
we'll have to circle back in the sack. Hopefully, they just both don't get a half a sack, so I don't have to give you any points. Okay.
Come on.
So, as we mentioned, it's time for some NCAA Week 3. Me and Cam will give our little quick takes on college football, the ranked versus ranked matchups. Cam, first starting off, is there anything extra you wanted to add? Any other games between non-ranked teams?
I was looking at Thursday slate. I think it's NC State at Wake Forest, I believe.
Yep,
7.5.
Thursday.
7.5 for NC State. I don't know. I might sprinkle a little bit and buy it down to 6.5 for NC State, but also Wake Forest at home could be a little troubling. But I'm probably gonna buy into it and get NC State minus 6.5, and I might parlay that with the Packers money line just to make it a little interesting. But
do a little dual screen action.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually had a decently successful college football. Well, I think I was 2-2. I bet JMU last weekend, Utah State plus 33.5. Took the over in Iowa State. Oh, banned. Iowa overs is banned. I'm never placing that bet ever again. That's my ban list right now.
I got cooked by Iowa and Michigan, but I had a huge.
I told you Oklahoma.
And obviously both of them lost, so not great.
I think I lost another bet in there as well, but it was Northwestern. The under for Northwestern, it lost by like half a point. Nonetheless, let's get into some Week 3 actions. The first ranked matchup we have is Georgia in Tennessee. Georgia minus 3.5 on the road. We don't have Mark here with us to be a Georgia homer. What is your take for this game?
I'm gonna be watching it most likely with that guy Gabe Eckstein, who shows up in the chat every once in a while, who went to Tennessee. So I'm probably gonna have to ride with him. I know Gunnar Stockton's looked a little inconsistent in the beginning of the year. I am nervous. This is his wake-up call game, but for the sake of the fans, I'm gonna go with Tennessee plus 3.5 at this game.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just think I'm not sure about Gunnar Stockton, and I did watch Tennessee versus Cuse, and Joey Aguilar looks pretty good.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, kind of grind it out. I think Tennessee could get this done, maybe like a 21-16, 21-15, that type of game. It's going to be SEC hard-mouth football. All right, next one we have is a newly ranked USF team, number 18 in the country, visiting Miami. Big upset over the University of Florida. Miami is minus 17.5 at home. Carson Beck, what do you think? about
So
this
I
game.
don't love the minus 17.5. If I was to, which I'm probably going to, if I'm going to bet on it, I like Florida minus 16.5 by a point. I think
It's
Florida's
Miami, not
due.
Florida.
So, oh yeah, sorry. Well, I knew it was, sorry, I misspoke. But yeah, I knew Florida's due coming off of a pretty big loss. I think
It's Miami. USF at Miami.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Miami. So yes, that's right because USF played Florida
Yeah,
last week.
USF beat Florida.
Yes. So I think USF's due for a wake up call after beating Boise State was that week 0 or week 1?
Week 1.
Week 1. So after a ranked opponent, they beat Boise State and then obviously beating Florida last week. I think the chickens are coming home to roost. I think this is kind of a wake up call for them. I'm going to go with Miami minus the 16.5. I know it's 17.5, but I'll probably buy a point there.
I got USF. I think it's going to be a closer. I mean, I think Miami wins handily, but like USF keeps it close enough to cover 17.5. That's a lot of points for a team that, maybe Florida sucks and maybe Boise State sucks.
Is that Hard Rock?
This is ESPN bet.
Yeah, I believe it's in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both teams are from Florida, so I'm sure. Okay, last one. Texas A&M at Notre Dame. Notre Dame minus 6.5.
I love A&M here. Notre Dame kind of fucked me week 1 against Miami. And
Slight bet.
now, yeah, exactly. There's no real. I'm very concerned about how Notre Dame has looked without Jeremiah Love playing up to his caliber from last year. I feel like a lot of people are expecting to have a breakout, even potentially a Heisman candidate year. And he definitely hasn't lived up to that expectation. So I'm going to go with Texas A&M and probably wear my Johnny Manziel Texas A&M jersey for that game.
Nice. I have a hard time picking this game because I after last year I would want to fade Texas A&M in this spot. But they do have that new quarterback. I think Marcel Reed is his name. And I'm not sure about the Notre Dame quarterback. I'm just going to go with Notre Dame. I think they get back on track. They always find their way into the CFP. So I have no doubts that somehow they'll bullshit out a win here. And I mean, Texas A&M is 2-0 as well. So I think they can afford to lose and they'll have SEC opportunities. So I think Notre Dame is more urgency, gets it done at home, and it'll be like a decently high scoring game. So I think they can cover the 6.5. All right. Comments end us out. Greg Small is offering to be Mikey's guy for college football. What do you say to this opportunity?
Go put a jersey on.
Don't say that.
I like that.
Cuse football, dart.
I don't know how to respond to that. Can we get that out of the chat?
Greg offers a play for you. Q spread, Friday night, 7 p.m. Colgate coming to the Dome. Syracuse minus 37.5. Do you dare?
I like Colgate plus 36.
Tease it down 1 point. All right.
Yeah, I think they win by 37 on the dot.
Last comment of the night, and this could, maybe send us off. I feel like Mikey has something to say. Michael, is there anything you want to say touching on this week 2, week 1, week 3 of NCAA before we end us out here?
No. Football is good.
Football is back.
Well,
Yeah.
shout out to our sponsor, Four Locos, specifically the red, white, and blue flavor. None of this could be happening without you guys. So shout out to them. Shout out to Dub hosting the Dubcast. And Miller Lite. Miller Lite's another proud sponsor of the Dubcast. So
We're not sponsored by anybody.
Not
This
yet.
is not a paid advertisement.
Not yet.
All right. Thanks to the boys for sticking along for the ride. Some good viewership tonight, some good comments. Colin, we'll see you next week for see what happened with our picks and then get into week 3, how that went or how that's going to go. So we'll see you out. And as always, be easy, y'all.